What's going on, Mr. Abel? How you doing, man?
What up?
What's up? Happy Friday to you all.
Dude, it's an awesome Friday.
You know what? We got good coffee. We're here. We're so grateful it's that time of year.
Dude, you brought bagels today.
And I brought bagels. Hey, we brought somebody else on for the boiler room today.
That's right, baby. Mr. Jacko! That's awesome, man. It's good to have you on.
I could just sing Kermit. Right?
What's up, Jacko? How you doing?
Good morning. It's an honor to be invited. Thank you.
Thank you for coming, man. Believe it or not, not all the we're honored as well, is what I'm trying to say, because not all the invites are always answered with yes, I'm honored to be on, and that's exactly what you did. So, talking about Brett.
Screw that guy.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Yeah, makes a good egg sandwich, but hey, man.
He makes a hell of an egg sandwich. He made me one earlier. Dude, gets down.
I'm scared. You said not all invites come back with yes. I'm fearful now.
Nah, don't be fearful.
Nah, there's only one, actually. It was Brett. He's the only one that hasn't come on.
Yeah, and like we mentioned to people, we have a list of people who we want. So you're high up on that list, man. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So for you guys at home listening in, Mr. Jacko is one of our black belt instructors. And man, this guy's awesome. He's just a well-rounded human being. And what I mean by that is, aside from what he does here and your abilities here on the mat, on and off the mat, you're a great businessman. You have a very interesting perspective on things. Very, what do you call it? Like even kind of perspective on things. Even kiln is I think is the word. And I'd love to hear your perspectives on things. And on top of that, you're a great family man, which is something that I really, really admire about you. You love camping. You love off-roading and all that good stuff. And it's all the stuff I love. So I needed to get you on here because I need to pick your brain about a whole bunch of stuff. So welcome.
Thank you. That's quite an intro.
I'll add to that. So Jacko actually comes from right around the same area I come from. So we have a lot in common. We actually have some mutual friends, actually, that he went to high school with that are all like my friends' little brothers.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it was good.
So what you're trying to say is that Jacko's from the hood, too.
So Jacko and me are the two true Orange County kids, dude. You get everybody else who says, like, oh, they're from here. Like, even Abel's from LA, you know. Yeah, but we're from behind the curtain, dude. We're like... And people look at Orange County, oh, there's really not a hood. No, there's a little bit of a hood, like, but it's just different types of hoods like in LA. And he comes from that little piece of the hood.
I'm an honorary cholo.
So yeah, literally like right around the same area, dude.
So well, let's touch on that right now.
Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
So I was born in LA, East LA actually. The General Hospital off the
Soto?
5.
Yeah.
The
5 in Soto.
Yeah, the hospital. Actually, not the.
You're lying right
the
now.
one
See, he's making fun of me right now.
Not the one in the soap opera, but the building next to it is where I was born. And then for 2 years.
Are you being serious right now, or are you just messing with me?
No, for real. Yeah, and then just for a couple of years, and then mostly Santa Ana, and then Garden Grove.
Let's talk about that hospital real quick. So, do you know stories about that hospital? It's not a good hospital.
Really?
Oh no, it's not, dude.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's off the freeway. You've seen it, right? No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's iconic.
It's iconic.
It's a beautiful building.
Yeah, it's iconic.
But it's not known for its best practices. At least not when I was growing up. It was scary to go there. You didn't know.
That's funny.
You'd go in with like influenza, and you'd probably like die there because like someone like did something to you or something. Yeah, it was bad. Yeah.
You know,
I'm glad you made it.
There's a in Garden Grove Hospital. That's the same thing. People are like, if you go to emergency, you request to go to UCI or somewhere else.
Really?
You don't go to Garden Grove Hospital. You don't come back once you go in the Garden Grove Hospital.
Yeah, it was like for
Garden Grove Hospital.
for us growing up, like that hospital. The reason why it's iconic, not just because of the way it looks, but it was like literally like that's the place you go if something's really serious. So if any like your family members were there, it's like they don't have insurance, and you're there because you absolutely need help now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and,
You know what I mean?
you're probably not coming back.
Yeah, you're probably not coming back. Yeah, so
That's funny. But yeah, he went to so he went to the big purse, man.
Yeah, Pozo Grande.
That's his high school.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh, right on. See, I don't know where that's at.
See,
It's a crappy name for a school, though.
Garden Grove School District, man. Their high school names, except for one.
That's what it's called? Bolsa?
Bolsa Grande.
Yeah, the big purse, dude. That's what I used to call it, the big purse.
And then the
Hold your tongue and say that.
yeah, and so our mascot was a matador. It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Bolsa Grande Matadors. That's what it was.
And dude, we used to get made fun of because I went to here Fountain Valley, like right on cuff. It was Los Amigos, so
Yeah.
everybody's like, "Oh, the friends." Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty...
Whack.
Yeah. Ours was Chieftains.
the chieftain.
Dun, 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 dun. Even our song was dope, dude. Dun, 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 dun. Hey! Dun, 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 dun. And it was like all like tomahawk stuff.
It's better at Bolsa Grande.
That's funny.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
I talk about that a lot because I wanted to go to Bolsa. Actually,
Shout out to my Chieftains.
That's funny. Rumapadilla.
Yeah, Rumapadilla. See, I'm telling you.
I wanted to go to Bolsa Grande. All my friends went to Bolsa. I'm like in that weird little area right there where I could have went to Bolsa, La Quinta, Santiago.
Oh, wow.
Or
Yeah.
I'm like in Santa Ana, and it just borders everywhere.
So you're born in L.A. I can't believe you were born in the General Hospital. And then you said, so that means that your family was living in L.A. at some point?
Yeah. That's where we started. So
Were they there for how'd your parents, like, are you first generation? I thought you were first generation.
yeah, I was born here. So I was the first in my family to be born in
Very
the
cool.
United States. But yeah, so the family came over right at the fall of Saigon. So they're like one of the last planes to leave Saigon before it fell.
So for people at home, can you just elaborate on that a little bit so that they understand like kind of the story?
Yeah, so the North communists came down the country and just slowly just taking villages and taking the country over with their tanks and the troops and all that stuff, and America was there.
So your parents lived through that.
Yeah, and so my at the time my grandma was she married this is after like her second husband. She married an American. He was there working with the U.S. government, and anyway, so things started, like the dominoes started falling from north, and it got closer to Saigon, and the troops got closer, and then the communists got closer, and then the U.S. embassy was like, all right, everyone's got to get the hell out of here, because especially if anyone's like known to support America or anything anti-communist, they would be jailed or tortured or just killed.
Yikes.
So so my grandpa at the time was like, all right, well, we got to get the hell out of here. And he like basically was like, all right, you guys are my employees, which is, my family, like my uncles and aunts. And I one of the last few airplanes to leave out of Saigon was, they barely got out. And actually there was like a documentary on, I think Netflix or something like that. And we were watching it, me, mom, and my wife, Christina. And then we went past the scene and we're like, wait, hold on, pause, rewind. And we paused it, and there's actually footage of my grandma holding, I think one of my uncles.
That's crazy.
And going on the airplane.
You're kidding.
Yeah, it's crazy. And so they flew over, and LA was.
Wait, were you tripping out on that? Were you like?
Yeah, big time. I was like, because I remember hearing stories about it.
That's history.
But actually, to see it, on the TV.
You should let the Netflix guy, whoever made that documentary, know, man, because they do a lot of backstories.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, especially on Netflix. They always go, "Oh, let's go back and revisit that stuff."
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
be kind of cool to like.
And then my blood grandfather, he was actually an interrogator for the Saigon Army or whatever. I can't remember the name, but so it's the anti-communists. So for sure, if he would have got caught, he would have been done.
Over. Yeah.
So actually, obviously, the Caucasian or the American grandfather, didn't get my blood grandfather on the plane. So my blood grandfather, I can't remember how he left. I think.
You mean on purpose, or he just couldn't do it?
I don't know.
Little bad blood going on there.
Don't want to start any beefs.
Maybe
The
my
bloodline's right here, not right there. Just saying.
Maybe my grandma was like, "Yeah, don't worry about him."
Yeah, we're not.
I don't know.
We're not talking
I
about
actually
that.
got to ask grandma about that.
She's like, I don't want to talk about it. Skip.
So he had to find his own way, I think, and I think it was a boat to the Philippines or something like
She's
that.
gonna be like, hey,
Yeah.
she's gonna be like, yeah, he got here, right? So
Yeah, he made it.
And so what's crazy is like back then,
But did he die?
yeah, but did you die? But obviously back then there's no communications, no cell phone,
nuts.
satellites. So
So you don't know who got out?
we all got out, or they all got out because I wasn't born yet. But my grandfather, my blood grandfather, he went to the Philippines, I think, and then he somehow made it to like Louisiana or Texas or something. And then eventually we got in contact with him, and then he made it to LA, and so LA was kind of like where we all met up or they met up and when I was born. So
That's nuts, man. That's a crazy story.
that is nuts. So he's a little younger than me, but I used to have a lot of friends because of where I grew up, obviously, that were Vietnamese, and they were on those boats, some of them, and they would tell me stories. I'd be like, you're full of shit. It wasn't until later that I understood what was going on.
You're just a jerk.
Yeah, I was just a jerk. You know what I mean? It's like,
It's messed up. They're like spilling their guts about how they survived,
yeah, and
You know what? It's amazing to me that there's so many people around me that I consider part of my circle that have gone through some nuts stuff, man. Amy Dominguez,
yeah.
one of my
Yeah, I like her story.
Yeah, one of my closest advisors. She and her family had to escape Cuba. They were literally on a list of executions.
Wow.
Of the fire squad.
Damn.
It's crazy. Yeah, and she's obviously done huge things here, and has a really good life. And
This is your lawyer?
family friend and lawyer. Yeah,
Is this the one that gave you the tissue box?
yeah, yeah. You know what? We should revisit that story. You should all listen to this
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
It's actually
I
a
want
really
another
good story.
story.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, she's
Pass.
skip. She's a great family friend. But her outlook in life is such that matches their resolve.
Yeah.
And it's interesting when people go through things like that, or if you know the origins of your family and what your family has gone through, you're so much more protective of certain things as an adult, and you're also more your perspectives on life are different
Absolutely.
than most people that have just been like,
You can
I've been here
appreciate
my whole life. Like there's no like struggle, there's no grind. You know what I mean?
That's what I think, like, kids of millionaires and celebrities, like, unless they're brought up properly, how can they have any how can they appreciate just the simple things if they grew up that way, like already lavish and everything's given to them? You know what I mean? Like, how do you, where's the work ethic? How would you,
I take that another step further. I think there's a whole generation of that right now. Like my kids are good kids, but they also didn't have to work and won't have to work that hard
Like you did.
like I did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that's a good thing, right?
It's a good thing and a bad thing.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a good
ultimately,
thing
I
and a
think as fathers, all three of us are fathers.
I will say this though, eventually we all have to pay the price. Whether it becomes you lose the one who's taking care of you, or somewhere down the road hardship
Yeah, because
is gonna find its way and it's gonna find it hard.
yeah, because all three of us are fathers, and I think that ultimately our goal is for our family to be all right. You know what I mean? To be able to get a good education, to be able to
For sure.
get a good education, so that either they open up their own business or they go work for a company that that does something good in the community. Right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
what it's about. But like you said, as fathers, also we can maybe set them up in a place where you give so much and you're not teaching those lessons, those valuable lessons that
Yeah, you have
I
to.
think go a long way, right?
Yeah.
Keep them on the straight and narrow.
Yep.
So you're in college, or not college, high school. Where did you go to college?
Yeah. I went to State Fullerton.
Hey, you guys are buddies,
Yeah.
homies.
When tuition was like
Like nothing.
$1,500
You know
Like
what?
nothing.
You guys
Yeah.
are probably there at the same time.
Maybe.
I was there 95 to 99.
Were you a cool kid in like middle school and high school?
No, man, I was picked on.
You were picked on?
I mean, my name was easy to make fun of. So,
You know what? And at that time, the Vietnamese community was just growing in that area. So it's not like it is now. Now it's predominantly that way.
I can't imagine anybody picking on you, man. Like you're such a sweetheart.
Oh yeah, but I was obviously way smaller, and I was probably the only Asian kid, in elementary, and then not until when I grew up in Santa Ana, it was like all white and Mexican, and I was like one of like two Asian kids, so I had to pretend like I knew kung fu and stuff, and just to like people to not want to fight me.
That's funny.
Actually,
That's funny.
Wait, hold on a second.
Yeah,
I
What
love
do you
it.
gotta pretend you kung
because
fu?
it was like in the '80s, and like kung fu, like Bruce Lee was kind of.
So that's where I got on Noe the other day. I was like, oh, wait a minute, you weren't born with those skills?
No.
Like,
So it's not embedded in your genes.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not
And
born-
that's the bully in me, like,
You are a bully.
Yeah, come out of the womb with nunchucks.
right? That's what I would say.
But I do remember in elementary, we were on the swings, or like I was waiting for a swing, and it was this black girl. And I was like, hey, get off that. Let me get on the swing or whatever. I don't remember what I said, but she didn't like it, and she came up to me and she.
Well, if you said it as rude as you said it now, I mean,
she
probably
straight up
wasn't-
socked
That's
me.
that's a cultural thing.
She straight up socked me in the stomach, and I lost the wind in my. And I just was like, oh. I was like, no, I'll do that again.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So I mean, were they good schools that you were going to? Because there's a podcast, I think it's like episode 14, where we talk about how I get removed from school.
Yeah.
And we talk about like how it was almost like it looked like a jail, right? Like the gates were like seriously like 20 feet high, and on top they had like barbed wire, and there was this massive compound where it was like fifth graders all the way to eighth. That's a big discrepancy.
Yeah. Big
And-
kids, small kids.
Yep, and there's a lot of bullying going on, a lot of fights and stuff like that. Was it anything similar like that?
No, there wasn't like offenses and stuff like that, but I mean, it's Fairhaven, and then which is like right off of, I think Glassell, and it's next to the cemetery. But no, I mean, it was fine. Elementary was fine. I think I didn't see stuff until like we moved to like Garden Grove and like went to like Jordan Junior High, and then you started to see like the starting of gangs and stuff like
Was
that.
that like a real junior high, like where it's just 7th and 8th, or was
Yeah.
it like okay?
Yeah, it was just 7th to 8th. And at the time, there was like a bunch of Asians, and they were trying to start a gang, and they're like, hey, we got 13 of us. Do you want to be?
Hey, dude, their name's crazy too, man.
Yeah. They had 13, and they're like, hey, we want one more. You want to be in it? We're going to call it NIP 14. And I'm like, no, I'm good, man. Thank you. I was like, I'm out of here.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And so junior high, they used to always see at, the basketball courts, like it was like a race wars. Like,
Yeah, there was big time back then.
it was like, I think it was like blacks and versus Mexicans,
yeah.
and like the Asians sometimes would be with the Mexicans, and it was weird back
It was
then.
it was a real thing in Orange County back then because people just like to see the diversity like go against each other, so they would push the envelope. I told you I got shipped in Garden Grove School District. I call it shipped, dude. I literally 7 different elementary schools.
You did?
Yeah, because we
That's
lived
terrible.
in an apartment, and so I was always having to go change schools.
I hate that.
And doing that, Garden Grove, even though there was Mexicans there, when I was growing up, there wasn't that many Mexicans there. There wasn't that. It was predominantly white.
Yeah.
Garden Grove was predominantly white.
Yeah.
And so when you go, you learn how to defend yourself, man, because you're constantly having to go up against Vietnamese guy. Is he funny? Is
Yeah.
he, well, he's with that guy. Oh, I don't, and there's a little bit of that, like there was a lot of clashing.
It sounds like there's like it's like cliques.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
No. Everybody tried to stick to their cultures, but then, like you just said, where I was one of those kids that, like, I grew up with a stepdad who was white, so I kind of, like, was
That's
whitewashed,
nuts,
dude.
that's
So
nuts.
I had, like, to find my place, dude.
Yeah.
So you could have gone either way. I mean, because we've spoken about this before. Both of us could have gone either way. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just a matter of a decision away from ending up somewhere completely different today.
Yeah.
With that invitation, like if you would have said, "Yeah, for sure," like let's do it.
It was
Who knows? I mean, right?
It wasn't even a possibility because I'm just, I was just too much of a puss. Like, it's like, no way. I don't like fighting.
So,
I'd rather.
Your parents would probably beat the crap out of you too.
Probably, but I mean, there's always the friends that and then I remained friends with the gang members and stuff like that. But there was always like that, and the people who like to play sports,
Yeah.
there's all these different, like you're saying, cliques. There's different cliques. I never really fit in with anybody, but I avoided all that stuff. I already knew, that wasn't for me. So.
Yeah, it's easy to do. That's where I get I can't take anything serious because I learned to my self-defense mechanism was, hey, let's be funny, or hey, hey, I'm gonna be a smart ass, and I have a hard head. Not so much that I knew how to fight back then. It was I took a beating a lot. When I first go into a new school, it would be like thump, thump, thump. Oh, he didn't cry. Oh, he's all right.
Yeah.
Literally,
So
it was
nuts.
that. It was like that.
It's so nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got in a lot of fights when I was in middle school.
Let's talk about that, man.
One time I got my
He's
butt
a
handed to me,
warrior,
man.
dude.
I got my butt handed to me.
I think he stayed with the cartels back then, and I think this is all front.
Hey, I got jumped. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
That's why I always joke with
sorry,
Abel
guys.
about the aloe vera farm, or the
Blue agave?
the agave farm.
I have nothing to do with that. I just
Hey, how's
go
your
every
eye?
now and then, just go see what my dad's up to.
Yeah, is that what they call it nowadays?
I just check,
Agave.
go check and see how everything's going. You guys are ridiculous. So this story,
You see the gold gun in his office, dude.
so I got my butt handed to me. It wasn't a fair fight. Okay.
Never is, man.
I got
Fights are
jumped.
never
No, I got
fair.
jumped, dude. One of the guys hit me up for no reason. It was just like I said. It was 5th grade to 8th grade. You know what I mean? It could have been because you wore a new sweatshirt and they wanted it, or new shoes and they wanted it, or a new backpack and they wanted
What
it.
city was this?
This is the city of Bell Gardens.
Okay.
Yeah, Suva. We talked about this, and I remember I got hit up, and I don't even know what was said or what, but all of a sudden we're swinging, and then 2 other guys jump in. I'm just getting stomped on the floor and stuff, and a whole bunch of the guys from my neighborhood saw, and nobody jumped in, and it's kind of like an
Hey,
unspoken
you
rule.
want protection? You need to come over with us and do the thing.
There's kind of like an unspoken rule though, you got each other's back, from the neighborhood. You know what I mean? And that didn't happen. Needless to say, I learned my lesson, right? I mean, you got to be able to handle stuff on your own. You can't rely on anybody. But I'll never forget that, man. Yeah, that's just one of them, man. There's so much stuff that happened, but that's why I ask, because especially being in an area where maybe at the time there was more maybe Latinos and, like you said, whites. I wanted to see what that was like growing up in those areas.
It wasn't that bad.
No.
It sounds worse than it was, but it actually, that area right there was really fun, because I think that's what you had to learn was to. I think especially in that area is more diverse even than just coming over this area.
Yeah.
Is because you learn to hang with so many different types of people.
True.
Yeah, which is cool. It empowers you, right?
Yeah, it does.
I mean, look at right now. I mean, we're
Yeah.
and all the people that we invite and stuff. It's very diverse.
I can go to that side of Orange County, anywhere past the 22, and I probably can run into 100 people.
People you know.
Yeah.
All the time.
It was really diverse back then.
Yeah.
Thinking about the people I used to hang out with, it was just everybody, black, Asian, white.
Yeah.
Mexican,
Well,
everybody.
eventually, what happened is you realize that, hey, I need to hang out with Jacko. He's more like me than these people
Yeah.
are here. So all of a sudden, you had these. Then, as you start getting into high school, you start having these real diverse cliques.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hey, I hung out with a lot of Samoans in high school.
Yeah.
And that was just because they were really accepting of me.
Yeah.
I like to eat, I like to laugh, I like to drink, dude. So it was
But also back then, it was just fist fights. So
Yeah.
you survived to live another day.
No, yeah, fist fights, and the thing is, you're young enough where you might be upset for a few weeks, and then you're good. Whatever. It's it's
people
gone.
weren't trying to kill each other.
No. Yeah, exactly. So what did your parents do at the time? So, because they had a massive exodus, right?
Yeah,
They got here, and then what did they start doing in order to set you up to where you were going to go, where you ended up?
Social working. I worked for the county. My mom did for a long time, and then after a while, parents opened up a restaurant.
Really?
And,
did you
now
know this?
I didn't know this.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, and then you get to see how hard and dirty the restaurant business is.
It's tough.
Tough, man. And I used to bust tables.
How old were you?
I think 10 or 12 or whatever. But
We had a restaurant as well.
did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Gardena. Where was yours?
Santa Ana,
Yeah.
Harbor and Bolsa, or First.
Hey, it's a
Oh,
lot
really?
of work.
Yeah.
What was it?
It was a little Viennese restaurant called Quanti Deli.
Yeah, I know what it was. Yeah. I didn't know
Really?
that was yours.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I grew up just right down the
Oh,
street
for
from
real?
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is insane.
Yeah, it's like a little mini
So,
strip mall right there.
Birthdays,
Oh,
holidays,
what a small world. Damn.
weekends, late evenings, early mornings.
Yeah.
We were always there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just nonstop.
And it's dirty, man. It's like all that just trash and filth and grease and yeah. My parents worked hard.
It's a lot of work.
A lot of work, man.
Yeah.
Gives you perspective, you know?
Dude, that's so cool. I did not know that about your family.
Yeah.
It's cool though, right?
Did
And
they
I
sell
mean,
it? They sold the restaurant?
Yeah, they sold it. I don't think it made much money. And then afterwards, they had opened up a car dealership.
Oh, okay.
So it did used car sales on Brookhurst and Garden Grove.
Yeah.
was
Oh
called-
man, yeah. So I know that area.
Yeah,
well.
so it's called Focus Auto Sales.
Is it still there now?
No, they demoed it. The city eventually
Bought-
bought the land.
bought the land,
and
yeah.
made that triangle.
So your parents have always been entrepreneurs. This is where you get it from,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I've always
for
said
sure.
that you're a great businessman, a
thank
great
you.
entrepreneur.
Thank you.
I like the way you think, and I'm always picking your brain and stuff.
Thank
So
you.
I'm trying to dig right now to see where you're getting this from. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, 100%. Like
Well, no,
parents.
that's 100% obvious because he's basically Abel Senior, and actually his brother is more like his dad than he is.
Oh, really?
actually. Yeah. So when we interviewed him, I was like, "Oh, dude, you're basically Abel Senior," and he was like, "I hope he listened to it because then he would sound how much he would." This is just like right here. You're hearing your parents' story, whatever. You're just like your parents. Like me, I'm crazy like my parents. Man. I was just crazy. My parents they owned their own business too and did all that. But they like to spend money. They like to party. They like to have fun. And
Yeah.
the child was born into.
So both of you were the wild child.
I was the wild child.
I'm the black sheep.
I'm the black sheep also.
Yeah.
I was like you said. When I was growing up, I'm not like how I am now. I was very mellow, very shy, and I didn't want to like be seen. I was a nerd big time, into Star Wars, into this and that. But I had to hide all that stuff because
It's not cool.
Well, the
not
environment.
even with my mom. My mom was like,
You're a nerd.
"Yeah, you can't be a nerd." I would have to go boss.
Well, that's the
I'd
thing.
have to go do this and do that.
The environment that you weren't in, the environment that you were in, doesn't allow for that.
No, it didn't.
And if they
Oh,
were
that's a
giving
bummer.
and if they were giving you a hard time about it, it wasn't necessarily because they didn't want you to be a nerd. They didn't want you to get punked. Is what.
Well, no, and I see that now. As an adult, I
Right.
see that now. Like, my mom never was that type of person. So I was like, how come she was so mean to me?
Yeah.
What
She
it
just
was,
didn't want you to get into
she
any
just
trouble.
didn't want me to show that side of me because people
Yeah.
would like, oh, look at this freak,
Yeah.
type of thing. So, and Shane's just like me when I was younger. But that's why I was always like, hey, man, do whatever you want.
Isn't it funny how parenting, right? Like when you in turn become a parent, you pick up like the things you do and don't want to do because what you
become
went
your
through.
parents.
Well, you become your parents too, but you also like you pick certain things like I didn't like that. Let me not do that.
Do it different.
with my kids, You know,
Yeah,
so-
my mom. It's funny because my mom's so quiet. She's one of the strongest women I know today. She's very quiet, very reserved, very kind of like keeps to herself. Once you get to know her, she's really fun and she's cool, but very quiet otherwise. But she would always tell Ozzy and me, if a bully gives you a black eye, when you get home, I'm gonna give you one myself.
That's how my mom was too.
Don't let that happen. And I was more scared of my mom than
So,
anybody at school.
His mom said it like that. My mom said it, you're a little bitch. Don't be a bitch. Go out and fight. My mom would tell me literally
Like
stuff
that.
like that. Just like that. My mom was a tough lady. Like,
Yeah.
And she'd be like, I don't want to fucking hear it. I just want you to handle it and take care of it. So if you didn't fight back, don't come home. Because
Yeah.
I'm going to beat your ass.
So I have a story about that. So in high school, this Asian gangbanger was
Asian women are nuts too, though.
okay.
Right? Your mom probably was like,
So like Asian.
Gary, come on, man. Hey, cultural sensitivity,
hey,
man.
man, but they are though, just like Mexican women, and they are.
I'm just gonna glance over that.
I love how Jacko just kind of.
Yeah. Like,
Thank you, Jacko. Redirect.
redirect. So Asian
I tried to
gangbanger.
pull it out of him, but he couldn't even take
He's smarter than that, dude. Come on, man.
So Asian Gangbanger was like threatening to beat me up and stuff, and I was
Why? What'd you do?
like that. So so there's like a bunch of Asian dudes going through the lockers. You know, at the time I was like, you know, playing football and baseball, whatever. And then they were going through the lockers, stealing people's shit. And I was like, that's fucked up, man. Don't do that, bro. And then like, you know, my buddies come back.
Oh, you spoke up?
Yeah, well, I just speak. Yeah, I think maybe I did. Probably, yeah. And then that didn't really bother them, I don't think. But then, you know, my buddies came over. I'm like, yeah, those guys over there fucking took your shit. And
come on, Jacko. Snitches get stitches, man. You don't
I
say
know,
nothing.
I know. And so they're like, they found out that it was me, like ratting on them, whatever, because they were stealing my buddy's stuff, bro. And then of course, you know, the non-gangbanging friends, of course, they don't got my back, of course.
Like
Right,
when I got jumped,
because you know,
nobody had my back, dude.
yeah, there's no loyalty there or
Getting
whatever.
stomped on the ground and
No, it's kind of like the Cobra Kai kids where they're like, dude, just take your beating and just go.
Just get over it.
Get over with it.
And so like for a long time, it was like they're like after me or whatever, and I was like stressed. I was like sick, like just sick with stress and stuff.
It doesn't feel good, huh?
It doesn't feel good, man, because you got to walk. You know, you got to watch after of your shoulder and stuff like that. It got to the point where, you know, I was telling my mom. My mom's like, you know, speaking about, you know, your mom being tough and stuff like that. She's like, let me go to your school with you, and then you tell me who it is, and I'll beat them up. You know, like,
See,
like
told you.
like straight away. And then I got to a point where, like, you know, I had to tell.
Wait, your mom said this?
Yeah, my mom said, like, I'm gonna.
No one's messing with her kid.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm gonna go over there.
How big is your mom?
And she's like 5'7", 5'6", you know.
That's a giant in the Vietnamese culture.
Yeah, that's Shaquille. I knew you were gonna say that. Shaq. My mom's little. My mom's like what, like 5'2" maybe? But that 5'2" is jam packed with spiciness, dude.
Like your pops, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it got to the point where I had to tell the principal, and then that kind of maybe sorted things out, but not really. And I was still getting threats and stuff like that. And
You
then
just had to take it. Man.
So hey, at no point you went to like a principal or
I did.
counselor.
I think
That's what he's saying right now.
I think I went to the principal and said something, and I think he had a talk with, you know, one of the dudes or whatever.
So he doubled down on his snitching. Is what he did.
and so I can't remember if I talked to the principal first or if I talked to
The police. Come on, man, Jacko.
you know, and then so I talked to like one of my.
I would have beat you up too.
I would have been. That's what I'm. Thank you, Gary. You said what I was thinking.
So I talked.
That was well deserved, dude.
I talked to my uncle's girlfriend at the time, and then her brother was a hardcore banger back then, like higher up and older and much older.
So you had some connections.
And so like he was, you know, he went to Bolsa too, but like, you know, like several years before, like 5, 8,
Right.
10 years, whatever. So he's like OG.
So you're like my age.
He's probably your age or about your age. Shout out to Sonny, that was his name. And then so he actually
What's the last name?
probably Nguyen, I don't know. I mean, there's probably 1,000 of those guys.
Well, I know Sonny Nguyen that went to Bolsa. So,
I do too. He turned out to be a baseball coach later.
Yeah.
That's not the same Sonny.
That's
He's not a gangbanger.
No.
That one. So, anyways, so I talked to him, and
Wait,
then
why did the Vietnamese choose Sonny for their?
I don't know, but it's
for
pretty
their
gangster.
for their political. Hey, what's your government name, Sonny?
yeah.
What's your cultural name? I don't know.
Yeah,
Min.
Son. Yeah.
Son.
Yeah. So anyway, so
Sorry.
so he goes, it talks. So that's actually the end of it. Was
You
the-
doubled down on your racism.
I'm not racist. This is just how we grew up, right? Come on. Yeah. This is the room. This
Jacko,
is the boiler room.
I'm sorry, man.
That's okay.
I apologize for him.
This is the boiler room. This is why I like Jacko. We grew
So
up in the same
anyways-
area. I know his story.
So anyways, the OG talks to the other gangbangers, and then it's squashed, and then I think one or two of those guys get expelled. So
Oh, so it's like this is a happy story for you.
it was fine. I didn't get beat up, and you know,
Dude.
everything's vindicated.
I was like 7th grade, same kind of story. I was like, hey man, don't do that to this kid. He had a cast on, you know, and I didn't see him. This is where I broke my right here. I didn't see him, and his friends were like, you need to beat him up, dude. He's, like you said, he's a snitch. I just told him, don't do that, you know.
Don't do what though? How did this start?
It was kind of like what he was saying. They're breaking in the lockers and stuff. That must have been a common thing because he was like,
dude.
yeah. And so I don't know what it was. And guy just cracked down on me and broke this from here to
So
here.
if somebody's breaking in a locker, you told them not to do it, you get cracked.
I get cracked.
That's what you get for not minding your own business.
So, but I'm like,
So guys at home, there's stories here.
The theme.
There's a theme, right? So if you see something
no. Here's the unwritten theme. I had homies. Right? I got cracked. I was crying. I'm doing whatever. My homies jump in.
How old were you? 9?
12.
12? Okay.
My homies jump in, beat the frick out of this kid, and then hold him and say, "You need to hit him now."
That's pretty gangster, dude.
And you know,
I don't know any 12-year-olds that are like, torture this kid.
And
Straight
you-
like movie.
Yeah.
And you know what? Who got expelled?
You guys
you did?
Because I took it out.
Wait, your buddies pinned the other
Pinned him
dude,
and said,
and you cracked him.
Yep. Because they knew I would. Back then, I wasn't a fighter. I was like, I hung out with tough guys, but I wasn't like.
So what happened, like physically? How did you land the punch?
Yeah, I landed a punch.
Yeah.
Pretty good. He
That was your
might have
first
broke
punch?
something too.
That was your first punch
That
ever?
was my first like real like
Yeah.
leading in punch?
like all my anger
Yeah.
went into that punch.
And then ever since then, he's gotten bloodthirsty.
So it kind of is like that.
after you punched him, he's like,
I was like this. Right?
rip his ear off, make a necklace out of it.
So it was kind of that way. You're right. It was definitely that way. Once I knew that I had some power or
Yeah.
whatever,
You became a dick.
I became a dick.
There was a really cool kid that I used to hang out with, Sal Zamora. Sal Zamora, if you watch this, what's up, man? He's still cool. He's always been a very just gentle mannered person. Comes from a great family.
I was-
So Sal Zamora, right?
What's up, Sal?
Super sweet kid. Smaller guy.
Did you jump in for him?
Smaller guy than all of us. And there was a kid that was bothering him, like.
Did you handle it?
Because he was so quiet, like this guy would just always mess with him. Finally got so tired of it, told one of our other buddies, that this guy was bothering him, right? And the other kid was like, you know those kids that are your age but they already have like a mustache and they're like
Yeah.
a man
Yeah.
when you're
Oh,
like
that was
barely
my
a kid,
friends, dude. That was
you
my
know?
friends.
Yeah, they're like you're still a kid but they're like already like manpower. And Blas, his name is Blas. Blas is awesome, dude. Still lives in Santa Fe Springs. Hopefully they're doing well. We love that guy. Big dude. Tells and then Blas is like, what? Like, who's messing with you? Like, did he know that like you know us and we hang out? But he was just always such a nice kid that
He's just a
he
good
didn't
guy.
want to get them involved
Yeah,
or anything
he's
like
just a
that.
good guy. He was
Yeah, exactly.
probably-
But it got so bad though that he was just like, dude, I can't even come to school anymore.
I call those guys citizens.
He was a civilian.
Meaning back then they knew, hey, I don't want to get involved. I'm a citizen. I do the right thing. I stay out of my way.
He's a civilian.
He's a civilian.
Civilian.
That's what he meant.
Citizen,
Yeah.
civilian.
Yeah, he's a civilian. And
Okay, sorry.
and so Blas is like, well, you know what? Let's go talk to this guy. And the other guy wasn't little by any means, but he wasn't Blas. Like Blas was like a man by the time we were
Blouse,
kids.
was it?
Blas.
Oh.
And so we go and it's like right outside the locker room. It's where everything happened, right? So the guy comes out of the locker room and Blas was waiting out there for him. And obviously we're all like watching, like, dude, Blas is about to go talk to this dude. You know what I mean? He's going to go let this guy know what's up. So Blas walks up to him. The other guy gets a little snippy. Blas grabs him by his neck and like pushes him up against the wall, dude. And the guy's feet are like his
damn.
tiptoes are barely like touching because he's like choking. The guy starts crying and stuff. He doesn't even hit him. But he
Just
tells
the
him,
fear, probably.
yeah, he goes, if you mess with Sal again, you know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back, blah blah blah. Ever since then, Sal just having his lunch, peace, had his little snacks.
Sounds
at
like a scene
recess.
from like the Karate Kid, the '80s movie.
We love Blas, dude.
So-
He made us feel so safe,
Dude,
man.
So
That
imagine,
guy was awesome.
Imagine now, like
He lived in the same block I did.
This stuff couldn't happen now, right? You think? So Shane was getting picked on in the 7th grade, dude. No, 6th grade, and the kid who was living with me, 6'4", small kid, say, went to Utah, played football there.
Nice.
100% muscle. Mm-hmm. He tells Shane's like, yeah, he's picking on me, whatever. Say goes, I'll pick you up today. Walked in and scared the shit out of that kid. You ever touch him? Da, 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 da. The principal was so impressed that somebody stuck up for Shane the parents of the other kid went to the principal and was like, tell your kid not to mess with like the nicest kid in the school, and this
Nice.
won't happen again, dude.
Yeah.
Like but Stacey was like, oh, I'm gonna fuck this kid. I was like, no, you can't do that, man. You can't do that. Okay, so we're moving on. Cal State Fullerton. What'd you study at Cal State Fullerton?
Marketing.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's I wouldn't have known.
Yeah. It's, this guy. It's like one of those degrees where you're like, I don't know what to do. I want to do something in business, but I knew I didn't want to be an accountant or, you know what I mean. I just knew I wanted to do something in business.
Did you have the bug? Like your parents were obviously had the entrepreneurial spirit. Did you have the bug or no? Or were you thinking I'm going to go to school and I'm going to work for a company?
No, yeah, I was like, I'm going to be a business owner at some point. Yeah.
Right on.
So that was just kind of making my way through. I knew. So college was kind of like, it's one of those things where you just, it's not really like high school. Like actually all the education, if you think about it, it's like, yeah.
You sound like Abel.
Uh-huh.
That's what Abel said about college, that he knew more than what they were telling him about.
No, I can't say I knew more, but I just knew like that stuff was like, when am I going to use freaking geometry,
Right.
or whatever, So it was more about like just getting it done.
Yeah, getting through it.
And like, the discipline and the ethics just to get that degree and just to say you did it.
I just want to clarify something.
Yeah.
I didn't say I knew more than the
He did
professor.
say- he did say
What I said was there was some
the
business
professor
class.
was full of shit, and then he knew more than the professor.
There were some business classes that I was taking about like land acquisition and some real estate stuff and all that. I was already
doing it.
By the time I was there, I was
Yeah.
already like at least 10 years into real estate.
Yeah,
You
with
know
your
what I
father.
mean? 8 years or something into real estate. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dude, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And it was a turnoff for me. Like I wasn't excited to go to class to do that class or that course. You know what I mean? But I'm sure that professor knew a whole bunch of a lot of things. But that particular class that I was taking with him, I was just like, dude, this is
Episode 12, go back,
stupid.
like he said,
Yeah,
he
this
was
is
full of
dumb.
shit.
I think I knew that too. Like, I think there's a lot of professors that just knew stuff in theory.
Well, what it
Actually
is,
didn't do it.
right, is a lot of those professors never really went out and did it.
Yeah.
They're educators. They've
Yeah.
been educated, and they went back and became educators at the school of what they learned in marketing. It's
Yeah.
like, so it's just a theory, I guess, right?
But there's things you pick up. Like I said, like you pick up discipline, work ethics. Business writing was good because it showed you how to write a letter properly, write emails, how to communicate professionally and things like that.
no all caps and stuff like that.
That's not me. I don't do that. I think I have a little bit better grammar than that.
That's funny.
But yeah, you're right. I think, dude, I say this, and I've told this to my kids all the time. Education is it's just like a martial art, dude. You go through it so you learn, your discipline.
You start
learn,
something, you finish
and
something.
You
Yeah,
learn.
you start it and you got to finish what you start.
And there's a lot of knowledge you pick up out of it. Not necessarily stuff that you go there for, but it's like the writing, some of the math. You're not going to use all the math, but you're going to use some of the math.
And the thing is that Cal State Fullerton at the time, I don't know how it is now, but at the time it was a commuter school. That's what we called it.
Yeah.
Or did you dorm there?
No, it's too close to home.
Okay, so
yeah,
you
it's a total
dorm-
commuter school,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
It's like you go to school, you go home,
Yeah.
and repeat.
And unless you're like in some sort of like fraternity or sorority or whatever, you're not really spending a lot of time on campus.
It wasn't the college experience that someone would hope for.
Yeah. So in other words, you were going there, getting stuff done, and then moving on.
You guys,
So
you
you
guys
get
sound
out.
like my brother. You guys are all the same age. My brother just turned 40. What the hell? You're just like
43.
43. You're like
I'm
20,
39.
39. Yeah, you guys are my brother's age. He went to Chapman for business, so it's like, but he didn't have the entrepreneur spirit like you guys did. He went and started working for big companies, but that's interesting. It's like a generation of people who kind of grew up. Like my dad owned his own business, so my brother saw that and stuck to business.
Yeah, it's definitely a seed that's planted, I think. Like with your parents, my parents.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's
Yeah.
you could tell that this is cultivated.
So you finished college, and then so then you're like, all right, the world is mine.
Yeah, no. I still didn't know what I was doing. So, you just started sending applications for jobs and then, get a job with corporate America. And, first job was Conoco Paint. It was a paint company. And I was in the marketing department and, it was boring and it was meaningless. It was a really crappy job, but it was a first gig.
Isn't it horrible? Like having to go somewhere
Yeah, it
and
was
do
actually-
something that you don't love. Like,
yeah,
It's horrible.
I just, no, man.
yeah,
It's horrible.
yeah. It was actually in Santa Fe Springs too.
Was it really?
Yeah, yeah.
Whereabouts?
Off of Telegraph.
Telegraph?
Yeah, you go Telegraph.
Telegraph at Day?
Telegraph, and you head like
Towards
east,
Geezers?
east like a few blocks. But man, that was
Did you ever go to Geezers? Or Maggie's Pub?
Maggie's Pub.
Maggie's Pub? Not
Yeah.
Geezers?
I don't know what Geezers.
Oh,
but
Geezers.
Maggie's
Geezers is a step above Maggie's Pub.
Yeah, Maggie's Pub is where they take you when you first.
Oh, yeah? When you
like,
get in?
Yeah, here's your lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of those places are fun.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah, so I
Tell you some stories later.
Ever been to the library? Okay, let's move on.
to read books or what?
We were talking about 2 restaurants, by the way.
This is the library's the library.
I'm sorry, Gabby. I'll talk to him.
Cabby.
All right, skip.
All right, edit that one out.
He's gonna get his man card pulled. That's what he's gonna get.
Hey, so, all right, so you're not happy there,
Yeah, and then so
but you're doing your time.
huh?
You're doing your time, though.
I'm putting
Putting in the work.
You put you season that resume.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then I start looking, and then I found McMullen Argus, which was a publication. So they did like it later became Prime Media, but they did like Sports Cop at Car, Lowrider Magazine, all those
wow.
magazines. And so I went over
You
there.
were a
Damn.
cholo,
Hey, he
dude.
still wanted to stay in the scene.
He was a cholo,
He was trying to
dude.
bring you back around.
Oh damn!
Hey,
Yeah, so
Jacko.
they had like I don't know like 24 magazine titles. So I worked in the circulation department. There
Hey,
for a
did
little
you know a guy named Jim Norris? Jimmy? Jim? No? He probably would have went to school when you did.
bit. Okay.
My cousin. But he was a promoter for Dub Show
Oh, that's right.
magazine.
Yeah, you
so that's how
mentioned
I
that.
got in promoting, helping
Oh, really?
promote for Dub Show. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just saying because
It's probably the same circle.
world. Yeah,
Yeah,
same world, kind of thing.
Hey, dude, so you were like a modern day madman. Did you ever see that show?
No, it's advertising
You gotta watch it, dude. Yeah.
type of
Mad Men on Netflix.
That's a really good show. Yeah.
Actually, I think it's on Prime. It's on Prime.
I think you can find it a couple different places.
That's when he's on advertising.
It's all about advertising, but yeah.
But it's in the day of it. It's a man's show.
Like
it's
from the
it's a
50s
man's
and
man.
60s?
Yeah, like they're like
Still smoking.
like
And
when
Suits
men
and hats.
when
Yeah.
men were men. Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, men are men. We might be the last generation. I don't know, man. Right?
I even say that about your guys' generation.
Hey, well, you know what? Like it's kind of like they say like tough times. What's that saying? Tough times brings up tough men. Tough men bring on good times. Good times bring on weak men. And I think we're in that kind of cycle right now.
I don't know. We're not in good times right now, though. That's for sure.
But
But every generation says that about the last
I know,
generation.
they all
right?
talk smack about
You know,
every
like I'm sure your
generation.
grandpa was like, "You guys are a bunch of wussies going through World War II."
It's true, but but they're still creating things by hand. You know what I mean?
We don't make
Here-
anything here. We just
No,
consume.
Consume and know how to market and know how to
Yeah.
But it's all good trades.
Thanks,
dude.
Jacko.
It's
You're
all-
ruining the world.
It's all good trades.
Well, because everything's shipped off to China, right?
Think
I mean,
about this.
Ever since
We went. Look, this is where we're at. We went from like where I was growing up, drinking from the water hose. You get a cut or something, grab some dirt, some mud, and put it on. You know what happens now if you get a little boo-boo, a little cut, right? Kids are asking for antibiotic.
Yeah.
They want to make sure you
Dude.
wash it out with like peroxide.
I was in the
And then-
backyard.
I'm like,
no
come on,
seatbelt.
man.
When you
Yeah.
they have no car seat or seatbelt.
I was sitting in the back of the trucks, dude, going 100
Yeah.
miles per hour, and they
Dude.
be like, "Hey, let's hit this bump!" Whoa!
I still rode in a truck, like in the back of a bed of, with like just sitting in the back.
Yeah, we
I
used
still
to
got to do that.
We used to do that when we went to like the El Toro Air Show back in
Yeah,
the day.
hey, just sit in the back of the truck going.
Isn't that crazy?
That was only 20 years ago. Think about it, really.
In the
20
80s.
Yeah.
So through all this hard work,
That's like
right?
40 years ago, buddy.
No. I would say like mid 90s.
Dude, you're like 50 now. So all this
Mid-90s.
hard work, like,
Fucking old guy.
between like your parents and then your education and stuff. What did you guys do for fun? Did you camp? Is that where you got that from?
Yeah, my parents took us
Hey,
camping stuff.
there's one denominator that I can say about both of you. Well, there's a few, but cooking, dude. You guys both cook, and you guys both are phenomenal at cooking. It's
Thank
like,
you.
oh, it's nothing. Oh, it's
Yeah,
it's
but my-
easy. You just gotta
yeah,
do it.
but my cooking-
you guys,
my
you
cooking-
guys just like,
Yeah, but
dude, my cooking is like some cereal and a bologna sandwich. Dude. That's my cooking. the figure.
My cooking is very easy compared to what he does. He does smoking and stuff like that. That
His
stuff is
patience,
just like,
dude. That's patience.
That's
dude.
a whole different level of cooking.
We'll get there, but I'm just saying there's some things that are very common with restaurant owners and their kids. Dude.
Yeah, I think that's why we hit it off.
Yeah.
Probably, but also growing up with, with Mexican friends and stuff. So.
That's right. That's right. So like low key, like at 2 a.m, we send each other like memes and stuff, and it's always about like my family or like American me, and it's always having referred
Blood in, blood out.
Yeah, blood in, blood out, and it's always.
Is he knows I would say I'm not conservative or liberal, but he knows this. Dude, so my memes are different than your memes, dude. I want memes like that. He sends me like Trump shit and stuff like, come on, we debate, dude.
Hey,
we have good debates.
Listen,
dude.
it's good to have different
I
perspectives.
don't really text people or DM people that much, but I DM him like we have like debates, dude, on politicians. The only thing we can say is California is just upside down right now, dude.
I think we can all agree.
All agree on that. Dude.
But you know what though? But California is beautiful, man. California is beautiful.
California is beautiful.
Yeah.
Would you ever leave California?
I can't say never, but I don't
In the foreseeable future.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, every day that passes, though, it makes it less appealing.
It's tough, huh?
Yeah.
It's a little tough. It's tough, especially when you're like, you want to run a business and like, you just have this vision and it's so hard because there's so many obstacles.
It's just it's a feeling of not being in control. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, and it's actually a person. So it's different when it's the environment. Because everyone is like, okay, well, it is what it is, right?
It is what it is.
It's just the flow of things, know. But if it's one person putting the thumb down, it's like, bro.
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. Let's keep this positive. Let's go back to camping. So camping.
Yeah.
I'm finding so many similarities, man, in our lives. Like the whole restaurant thing really threw me for a loop. I was like, what? That's why I love you so much, man. We also went camping a lot when we were kids.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Yeah, and it was like a cheap way to have really good fun, clean fun with the family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's quality time. It doesn't cost much. And it's like, the
well,
fondest memories.
Well, it could. Especially if you're rolling around in like a fancy Sprinter or like one of these Overlander. What do they call Overland?
I don't know.
Trucks?
Overland vehicles.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, right? You ever heard of that?
Yeah, a little bit.
They're like $100,000 vehicles to go camping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have one, but okay.
Oh, not anymore?
No, not anymore.
Oh,
not anymore.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about this camping. So what's up? How did your parents get into camping?
I don't know. It's what we used to do when you were back then, back in the day. Like you're saying, back in the day, we didn't fly to places and stuff like that. You didn't go like drive cross country. You just went to wherever. Pitch your tent and fish and.
Is there any spots that you remember like that are still around?
I think the Colorado River. I remember we went clam digging in San Diego.
That's
stuff
fun.
like that. Like that stuff sticks with you forever, man.
Yeah.
And then. You have those memories, those smells, of like being out in the woods or.
See, I miss that. I want that. I want that bad. I was telling him, and we gotta all do it now that Jacko's.
I've been trying to get him to go camping with me.
I'm a street kid. We didn't do that stuff. We didn't go camping, or we did for a little bit.
Yeah.
But it was like my dad worked too hard, so he never had time to just let's go this weekend or what. It became more about working. But I want to go camping, dude. I think with people that know how to camp.
I think camping for kids is like.
I think it's a must too.
It's another world, huh?
They have to. You have to. You got to take the kids camping.
Yeah, you have to. It's a must.
Yeah, I agree.
And what's the craziest thing is like, especially when you go on the boonies, right? You don't get no Wi-Fi and no cell service. But anyways, you see the kids and they're playing with sticks and rocks. Even kids. Now they're 7 and 9, right? And they still kick, they fish and they do all this stuff. And it's like, man.
So Jimena's 3 years old, or she's 4 now, but the last camping trip, she was 3. And she saw an older kid like skipping rocks on the water, the river. Mm-hmm. And then she asked me if I could teach her how to do that.
Oh, that's it, dude. That's priceless.
You know how many hours we spent doing that?
Dude, that's priceless, man.
Jumping in the water, jumping out, and throwing rocks. And you don't have to buy anything.
And she's going to remember that until the day she dies. like, hey, when me and Poppy, we're skipping rocks.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the
Skipping
thing.
rocks, dude.
That's the thing I would love to do for my boys, and I didn't do it because I didn't get it done
You didn't
for me.
grow up with
But
it,
you didn't
yeah.
know, though.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
But
don't know what you
now-
don't know.
But now, like I'm like I want to do this because I know eventually my kids are gonna have kids.
Yeah.
It's coming sooner than later, you know.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to be like, let's go.
And then you get like, so like when you really become an avid camper, you don't even want to share the spots you go to because they're like so beautiful and like awesome, and you don't want it to be ruined.
That's you know, we hit it off even you know, in the beginning, you know, back in the day at BCKM and stuff like that.
Well, what I liked is
Well,
that you were a hard worker on the mat.
We always hit it off like, oh, you know, I found out you like camping, and we got into that and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah, well, I would always see you roll up in that beautiful like
Sportsmobile.
$100,000 vehicle, and I'd always go like you go in like to warm up, and I'd go out there and look at your car. I'm like, dude, this thing is awesome. They got like it's like you had everything on it, you know.
Yeah, it's cool. It's tricked
I
out.
meet Jacko. We're on the mat, right? And he's looking at me, and I'm rolling. I don't shut up, you know. On the mat, especially if I'm training. I train hard, but I like to pop off too while I'm doing it. And he goes, "You were a bully when you grew up, weren't you?"
I said that to you? I don't remember that.
You still are.
Are you sure it was me?
It was you.
You didn't mix me up with like K or
It's
Noe.
just like he used to mix me up with John Saylor. Thank you very much.
Oh, did you see the last episode? How we changed the name?
No.
No, the intro says quarantine with John Saylor.
No, it says in the boiler room with John Saylor and
Yeah.
Abel.
So full disclosure, I was waiting to do this podcast before I listened to any podcast because I didn't want to have any preconceived notions. So I'll be a follower afterwards.
Oh, no, I'm you. Look,
That's what you get.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
I don't know if that's a good sign
that's a
or
sign.
or a bad
That's a
sign.
sign.
that's a sign for sure.
But yeah, so I remember. I went to the Laker game and then I saw Gary and Cook, and I was like, "Oh shit, what's up, man? We're the only people that
At the Laker game?
At Laker game at the Staples Center." I was like, "Hey, we're the only people that can probably defend ourselves in this whole place, or whatever." And then like the Monday, I see Sailor. I'm like, "Hey, it was good seeing you at the Laker game."
Dude.
wow.
He was like, "Laker game? What Laker game? I didn't go to the Laker game." He was like, I was like, "Oh shit."
Damn, dude.
But you were
I
serious.
was 100% serious.
You thought it was John.
I thought it was John.
Dude.
I gotta go.
You were having a good day.
And I was like, "Oh shit."
That's how much I love this podcast that I let him tell the story, dude.
So he confused you twice.
Twice.
Once at the wedding.
No, he didn't confuse me at the wedding. He just told me, like, we had become friends now, and we're at Noe's wedding. And I finally got to meet his wife.
You confused them.
No, not at Jacko, not at Noe's
You
wedding.
can neither confirm
No,
or deny.
he was just being honest with me. He's like, "Hey, dude, we were having fun. We were all just tipping back and just having fun." And he reaches over and he goes, "Hey, I'm sorry, man. I used to confuse you with John Saylor."
I don't remember that conversation.
Dude, about 10 minutes later, I was like, "I gotta go."
I didn't believe. I can't.
I was speaking to John.
You're surprising me with how much it's affecting you.
Dude, it bothered him. We talked about this in the evening.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was telling me that it just
Listen,
totally
me and
bothers him.
John are friends, but there can, and I think John probably feels the same way.
Yeah, I was talking to John yesterday,
This is
or
one
the day
of
before.
This is one of your buttons that you know to
Oh,
push.
yeah, easily.
No, man, it's like it's
No, man.
So what's the deal? What's the deal?
So like
Like it's
there's
unraveling.
only one Abel, right? There's only one Jacko. There can only be one fat guy.
No. Hey, you know what? What I've heard is that John is pretty slimmed down, man. He's been putting in work. He's
Please,
going after it, man.
let's go, Sailor. Bring your mitts.
Damn. You threw it on the gauntlet.
See what you started, dude? Like he has a chip on his shoulder.
Hey, I love John. John is the guy who, when I had tickets, I always got tickets, and I go like lots of Laker games, Rams games, and I'd give him all my Angel tickets. So that I'm friends with John, but yeah, don't compare me to John. I've lived a nice full life, but John's growing up now. Let's just put it that
You
way.
know, he almost stabbed my eye out. Did I tell you that story before? We were doing a drill, and
No.
John didn't follow instructions, and they called time, and he still went and swung, and the knife went all the way to the back, hit the back of my socket.
Damn.
I almost lost my eye. We'll talk about that some other time. Camping. Back to camping.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to go. We
camping's
need to go. We need to like hit a little trip.
Camping's essential. And then to what you're just saying, let's do it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, just don't say it. Be it.
Well,
Hey,
that's what he always tells me too. And
be about it, right?
I'm all about it. But you guys know more about it than me. Now it's just a date and let's go. You know what I mean? For sure. My wife trusts him, so she'll let me go with him. So it's like,
the thing with camping together is just like traveling together. It's like you almost, there's certain people that you're cool to hang out with, but to go on a trip together or to camp together, it's different because you have different styles, you have different paces,
Different priorities,
different likes, different preferences.
You know what my wife and I learned a while back, actually, when we're traveling with people or camping with people, we literally go with the flow. We don't put any of our quote unquote priorities in front.
Yeah, your agenda.
If you wanna enjoy it, just do what everybody else wants to do.
Yeah.
So,
Don't just go. Just do it and enjoy them.
True.
That's it.
True. Like you can't go wrong. Like a good first experience would be like a national park because it's beautiful. And,
you can't go wrong.
And you can't dispute beauty. So when you go to like these national parks, like Joshua
that's
Tree
good to know.
or Yosemite. Yosemite's my favorite place to camp.
And then you're also gonna have some of the comforts, right?
You're gonna have perfect, exactly, the facilities. So the bathrooms without bugs, well, they'll have bugs, but less. Hot showers, things like that.
Usually they're very clean restrooms.
But have you ever been to Yosemite?
no, I haven't
Oh
been
my
in.
God.
I've been to big cities, but I've never
Gary.
been.
Not even to Yosemite? Not even driving by?
You're missing out, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You have to do it before you die.
I
I'd say you do it. I mean, I want to go almost every year. I mean, Yosemite is
really.
by far my favorite place. I haven't been to any other national parks. So I haven't been to Yellowstone.
Let's do Yellowstone, dude.
Huh?
I've been wanting to do Yellowstone.
I've been wanting to do
my
it.
bucket list.
It's far. It's far from here.
So you know what's crazy about this place is when we're all at BCKM, this is the first time like camping. People are bringing up, I went camping, and everybody's like sharing their stories. I'm like, oh man, I never went camping. I haven't been in the backyard.
You felt left out.
Yeah, I mean I've been camping, but I haven't like. I told you the story of I went camping, naked person running through our freaking.
Oh yeah, that was.
I feel like
traumatizing.
if Gary went camping with either one of us, he would like it.
I think so too.
Because food is a big part of it.
I cook all the time when we're camping.
I love it though. It's great. It's great. I mean, there's people that go camping and all they do is bring snack bars and shit. That's not me.
That'd probably be me because I don't know how to cook.
Or they'll do like a hot dog on a stick.
Yeah.
Like no.
We're gonna cook.
Yeah, we eat
See,
good.
that's what I mean.
We
I
eat
would
good.
want to learn like, okay, how do we take that? How do we keep it fresh? How do we when we go?
And you don't have to. You don't even have to do anything. You just show up, and then like me or him would take care of everything.
Well, I'd want to learn, so I'd want to be like hands on a little
Well,
bit.
you just stand by the grill and
Right. To have a beer. That's what I want to do right there.
Have a couple.
That's not the kind of camping I did when I grew up.
Right? But that's why I want to enjoy like good camping, man. I want to go. I'm at the time where I just want to hang out. I want to learn to fish. I never fished.
We are back.
Yeah, so it's like, I want to fish.
Let's
too,
go.
It's like.
You already know a bunch of people that know how to camp.
So right before our break, we were talking about camping, and the reason why I bring it up is because I feel like we have so much technology around us. We have so many things around us that are so distracting, and distraction is cool sometimes, but as parents, as fathers, I think that we'd be smart in choosing the type of distractions that our kids have access to, right? And so camping jumps into my mind. And what are some of your activities that you do when you're out camping?
Yeah.
Aside from cooking.
Yeah, cooking and
like some of the stuff that your kids like to do.
Yeah, they fishing. They love fishing. And my wife's
fishing is dope.
Yeah, wife's a big time.
What do you
call someone that's into fishing? Not a fisherman.
Fisherman.
Fisherwoman.
That's funny.
I don't know, but yeah. So big time fishing and then hiking. Just sitting around the fire, looking at the stars. Simple stuff,
It sounds so simple, but it's so amazing.
It's really amazing. It's like I said before, it's essential, I think, for growing up and being disconnected. And like I was telling Gary off camera, it's like the smells. It just smells different. It sounds different. And then just being, especially when we get to like the boonies, like where we camp, dispersed camping, where you don't see anybody for like, I don't know, maybe 200 yards. It's just you by yourself. That's the best. You don't hear anything.
That is nice, but it can also go the other way, right? Like it's too lonely. For example, I wanted to ask you about this. You took a little trip. I don't remember who you went with. Salton Sea, I believe it was.
Oh yeah.
And you had reservations to stay at a place.
Yeah, it was me and my two buddies, Nick and Jorge, and it's actually a homeless encampment.
You didn't know that though.
No, and it was like an Airbnb. My buddy set it up, and this is why I like to plan everything because I like to be in control. My buddy made reservations
At an Airbnb.
Airbnb, and it was in this homeless encampment. I can't remember the name of that place, but it's by Salvation Mountain, and it's like a legit homeless encampment. Like people just squat. They bring like beat up mobile homes, and they put Christmas lights, and I don't know how they get electricity out there, but it's not policed by anybody. There's no county sheriffs no enforcement whatsoever. It's just basically like a freaking Mad Max, and just a bunch of homeless people.
Thunderdome.
And then so we pull up, and then like.
But you really think that it's an Airbnb? Like you're gonna stay somewhere legit?
That's what my buddy Nick said.
How long was the drive there?
It's like 3 hours. So
Okay,
you
so
basically go head east on 10, and then south towards the Salton Sea, and you pass it, and you go east into the mountain, and yeah, man, like you roll up, and this lady, tats, looked like she didn't shower ever, and hair off her armpits. And
Hey, hair off the armpits.
Hey, man.
Hey, teach their own, man.
That's
Come on.
just
rings
Come on, Jacko.
everywhere.
that could have been a good time, dude.
So she's like, "Hey, welcome," and I'm sitting in the, at the time I had the Sportsmobile. I'm sitting in there, and I'm like, I'm not getting out of this van, bro. You can go out, and then he gets out, and then
But how do they classify it as an Airbnb?
I have no idea, man. She had cell service, I guess, on her phone. So he's like, "Come on, it's disrespectful. Just come out." I'm like, "All right, I'll come out." And then I'm popping out, and I'm like, my head's on a swivel. I'm looking, and then this mobile home over here like has its blinds, and then
And you see that?
a blind comes down.
Oh, jeez.
And then I just see eyes, and then I see a flashlight like this, and like the flashlight goes on and off.
SOS.
Yeah. Well, actually, I Googled searched it later, and there's like a documentary on that place, and it says when people don't want, if you're an outsider and they don't want you there, the flashlight do that. They'll do the flashlight at you. And basically, it's like, get the fuck out of here.
They're giving you a heads up. Like,
Yeah.
hey, that was fair warning.
Yeah, we don't want you here. And so we walk around, and then there's like dolls hanging that are like tied on a rope that looks like they're being lynched.
Oh, dude, I would have been out the.
Nope.
freaking
Have you ever
door.
seen that movie, Hills Have Eyes?
And yes,
Yeah.
and I would have never gone camping again, dude.
So
Good thing that was
she's like,
never-
"Oh, hey, welcome." And then she's like,
So she was being nice, though.
She was being nice, and then she's like, "So this is where you can stay." She opened up her mobile home. We walk in. The screener opens, creaks. You walk in, and then you look at the mattress, and I'm like, "There's no running water. There's probably no electricity."
Oh, and that's where you're supposed to stay?
That's where you're supposed to stay. And like, I'm thinking, she probably doesn't have a vehicle. Like, do they even wash these things?
So you're like expecting Leatherface to come out with
Yeah.
a freaking chainsaw.
I'm ready to fight and do what I have to get out of that place if I had to, right? I was just like, I was ready for shit to go down. But yeah, it was like, "Nick, you got to be fucking kidding me. We're not staying here. I don't care about your deposit, bro. I'm out of here. You can stay here. I'll pick you up tomorrow."
So it was like he had to,
It's like,
he had to leave a deposit for it?
yeah. So he lost his deposit.
Oh, they probably love that. They probably did it a bunch of times,
sure.
dude,
Oh, I'm
to
sure.
get a little
I'm sure.
extra whatever money,
Yeah, I'm sure. So I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here, bro. You can stay here if you like.
So, I mean, obviously, you had your vehicle, so it's like, why would you even, right? I mean,
Yeah. So we just boned
no
out.
big deal.
Yeah, we boned out. We didn't even stay the night. We were just like, let's get some food and get that out. Get out of Dodge. But it was interesting, man. Like,
But that was a guy's trip, though.
that was a guy's
It
trip.
wasn't like the type of trip that you take camping with your family.
No, I'm smarter than that, dude. I'm not gonna bring my family to a place like that, man. But it was interesting because it looked like a wasteland. Like, there's
I saw
a
some
place
images.
called Bombay Beach, and it's just like, it looked like, if a nuclear blast happened, and then like you fast forward like 70 years, that's what it would look like. Like, it's just desolate, and just mobile homes and like trash piled up, and the Salton Sea is so
Do you know that-
acidic that like fish die. And
Did you know that place actually at one point was like happening and real estate was like booming there and business and a lot of people coming from all over
yeah,
California and different states.
way
to
back
go.
when they were trying to make it like a destination
Yeah.
for the rich and famous.
Yep. And it was taking off for a period of
I
time.
think so. Yeah, at some point, and then at some point, it got forgotten and lost.
Well,
And-
there was some mining that happened, and some of the water from the mining kept on dumping into the sea
yeah,
or the lake there,
yeah.
and it just ruined everything.
And the smell, it's like wretched, man. It's just like dried fish and decaying fish, and it's pretty disgusting. But it's so interesting, man. It's like just
But that's not where we're taking Gary.
we're not. Well, I don't know.
I'm down for whatever. I'm about like, hey, learning and do whatever. Take me someplace like.
Yeah.
Nah, I'll take you somewhere.
I think it's
cool,
worth worth a day trip. Maybe not camp, but it's worth just to see how different it look. You look like it's a third world country. It looks like.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
What's up,
So-
Gary? What you got for us?
Yeah, we always talk about the most interesting man in America. We had that kind of talk in the, or most interesting man in the world, right? We got the most interesting Asian in Orange County right here.
I don't understand his fixation on being racist towards you.
I just love.
I'm sorry, Jacko.
I love Jacko. Hey, so we talk barbecue. How did you become a judge? Barbecuing, dude.
Oh, this is right.
Yeah. So my buddy Mikey, we used to work at Big Thunder Ranch Barbecue, which is
Hold on, before you even go forward, does it make you feel powerful
what's that?
being a judge of other people's barbecue?
You know, my first contest, I'm like, I'm expecting. All right, where's the bribes at?
No bribes.
The bribe is the food, right?
Yeah.
No, you have to pay for that at first, right?
Yeah, you got to pay $100 to get certified to become a Kansas City
Smart.
barbecue judge.
Smart.
That is smart.
Yeah, it's $100. You actually eat the food. They tell you how to judge it, and it's great, man. I mean, but so do you remember at Disneyland they used to have a place called Big Thunder Ranch Barbecue?
Yeah,
Do you
in the
remember?
back over
This
there.
was
Yeah.
legit.
Yeah.
Over
It's
by
not
the
there
Hunch-
anymore.
Over by the Hunchback. It used to be like the Hunchback
Yeah.
in Notre Dame area.
Yes.
It's behind.
Well,
It's
it's all the
Star Wars land now.
Yeah, Star Wars.
It is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where I got my start with barbecue. Was like that was in high school and stuff. But the funny thing is, like all my buddies from there, which happen to be also Mexican, Latino, we're still really good friends today. But that's where I got my barbecue start. So I used to do the grill over there.
Wait, what? You were a cook there?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that's sick.
Yeah.
Disneyland too, right?
Dude, that's
This
so
is-
dope.
Yeah, this was like high school, like my senior year in high school. I was like,
So you were working the grill, that big old
yeah,
grill.
the big old grill. You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh shoot, okay.
Massive
Yeah,
one.
Yeah, I remember that area right there too.
Hey, I wonder what they did with those grills.
They had good cornbread there.
Hey, it would have been
Yeah.
cool to pick one of those up.
Yeah, but we used to smoke our stuff, bro, and like legit like slow cook it. Used to work pots and pans and the dish machine and make corn and all that stuff. So I knew what before that I worked with my parents at their restaurant too. So
Yeah.
the restaurant biz.
Dude, that's so awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, dude.
Yeah.
So, dude, you have like a tie with like Disney, huh?
Oh man, I love Disneyland.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
just
saying.
watching Imagineering.
That's the best, right?
It's for the second time.
Yeah, yeah.
I watched the first time and I watched it again this time. And like, it just makes you appreciate Disneyland for what it is, man. Like the attention to detail and how they capture that, like you're just, when you're inside Disneyland, you can't see the sight line of the outside city or anything. You're just in your bubble. They call it the bubble, right?
Yeah, they do.
And it's
actually.
perfect. It was a perfect adjective for it. It's like you're in a bubble and like your bills, your, people that owe you money, whatever. It just goes away and you're just there.
Well, think
for
about it.
at the
It has
moment.
everything you love is in that bubble. So you want adventure,
Yeah.
right? You like the
Yeah.
camping, the outdoors. It's
Yeah.
there, right? You want good food. It's there. Family
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Outer space, stars, the moon,
Pop culture,
sun.
it's
Yeah.
all there, dude. It
Yeah.
definitely is all there.
And just the attention to detail.
Yeah. Oh, it is definitely.
Like when the Imagineering guy was on that documentary, is like, there's like 4 levels of detail. And the last one is like when you touch the doorknob, like it's got to be like patinaed. It's got to feel like cold metal. Like just that amount of detail is like, man, this is.
Yeah.
Marketing, business, everything's in there.
The
Everything.
cool thing is Jacko, like, he started there, right? So did Steve Martin. So did, what's the name who made Jack Skellington and all those guys?
Oh, Tim Burton.
Tim Burton, dude.
Yeah.
True story. Tim Burton started there doing characters
Yeah.
and then went and got sponsored into their college. So there's a college outside of where your wife was born, out that way. There's a college out that way. Can't remember the name. Shane wants to go there, actually. It's one of the colleges he's applying to.
Towards the valley.
No, it's like Disney College. It's like a Disney official.
Disney University.
It's something like that. And what it is they take their own Imagineers or
Yeah.
their own people that are in the arts, and they put them through that school. Tim Burton started there. Dude, by the time he was 20 years old, they gave him like the keys to like make a movie. Here you go.
You know what I really started enjoying was meeting you and AJ up there.
Oh, that was good, man.
Dude, I was so pissed.
It was so. Dude,
Did you invite him?
of course I did.
No, you guys, everybody invited me. I was so pissed though because I had been an AP holder for almost 20 years, dude. And that year, that all you guys like, oh, we're going now, we're going. We gave up our.
Well, because I got into it because my kids are at that age. You know what I mean?
Well,
Just gotta
that's
make
the perfect age too.
Yeah, and it's safe. It's a family place, like you said. It's the bubble, right?
Yeah.
And it's really close to our house.
Yeah.
You know.
Right off the freeway.
Yeah, and then being able to hang out with you and your family, hanging out with AJ.
That's good.
And then
man.
AJ would bring Jade too. So it was just a good family time, dude.
Yeah, dude.
AJ, it was funny because AJ just bought that membership that
He did it just to meet
just
up
for
with
that
us.
day.
Yeah.
Dude,
and he bought the most baller.
Yeah, he bought the
you can
pass.
find.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I got friends that have money. Oh, my
yeah.
goodness, dude. That guy. But he tells me, and he's like, meet up with us. I was like, well, I can't. I just gave it up. He just looked at me like, why?
yeah, why? It would have been
Yeah.
so fun. No, but you were being responsible.
It was just a time where
You
it
had
was
some
time.
plans. You
Yeah,
had some
we had
plans.
some plans.
And then I brought Popeye's chicken, and then Jimena ate
So,
some.
dude,
some
check this
Popeye's chicken.
out. So we were at the Star Wars land, and we went to that restaurant there, and like we ordered her like a nice dish and whatever. And she sees Jacko having Popeyes, and she doesn't even want to touch her dish. She wants the Popeyes chicken.
Oh,
So
dang.
Jacko ended up sharing with her.
Abel's like, I didn't know you could do that. I'm like, yeah, man.
I didn't know you could bring food in.
Hey, there's no shame, man. I'm like, it was also Tuesday special, man. It was like leg and thigh for $1.99.
It was like a big old box of food.
Yeah. Popeyes, don't get fat guy problems, dude. I still go to Popeyes like, I'll go right now.
Not gonna lie, my mouth watered a little bit.
Popeyes, dude.
legit,
You get a
dude.
box.
Especially the spicy chicken.
yeah,
Dude, you get a box? Oof.
Yeah, but AJ knocks on it because AJ's from Louisiana.
Oh, he likes the what's the other one?
where it originated Popeyes, but he says it's not that good.
So,
Oh, it's not original. That's why.
So first time, like, I really started to get to know Jacko. I'm at WonderCon in Anaheim,
Oh, that's right, yeah.
and I'm walking around, and we're having fun. I've gone to a lot of cons, and we're by the Star Wars 501st, right? We're right here, and I'm like, oh, this is dope. This is sick. This black stormtrooper comes up.
What's 501st?
I'll let you explain that.
Okay, yeah.
So people at home that don't know what that is.
Sure. 501st is 501st is it's a nonprofit, and it's an all volunteer group, and they have standards to join. You have to have a costume, and the costume's got to be screen accurate to the movies. And then we have events, and there's like 14,000 members across the whole globe, and there's different garrisons in different countries.
How many members?
14,000 plus.
What?
Yeah, dude. I tried to look him up on under his garrison, and I couldn't find him, dude.
He belongs to the biggest gang there is, dude.
Yeah.
Southern California garrison's one of the bigger ones, but
I could not find him.
so-
I was like on there, like.
And then, so what kind of characters? Is it Disney characters?
it's all Star Wars characters. So
Star Wars.
it's anything in the Star Wars universe and expanded universe
Got
too.
it.
But so the main push was, or the main focus is volunteering for events for like hospitals, like hospital visits, charity stuff. So just anywhere we can a good cause and elevate the experience for the participants, by bringing Star Wars characters
That's so
to
cool.
life.
Dude, yeah. So I'm walking through this con, right? I'm like, oh, wow, man, this is cool, looking at R2 and looking at all this stuff. And this dude comes up, taps me on the shoulder, and he's like, hey, how would you defend this? Or he said something like that.
But you were in full costume?
I was in full. I think I was wearing.
So you had no idea?
I
I
had
was
no
wearing
idea.
a TIE pilot at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And I looked at him, and I kind of knew that he did something with that, but I didn't know, like, to the extent of it, dude. And I'm like, and he's real hush-hush, because I guess you're not allowed to, like, kind of, like, say who you are.
But you don't want to lose that magic.
Yeah. He's all, and he says it with his, you hear it in the microphone, it's me, Jacko. And Shane loved it, dude.
Oh, did he? That's cool.
So he's right at that age, 7th grade.
Yeah.
Where he was full on nerd, dude.
Oh, nice.
So
Nice.
he was like, Jacko's one, oh my God. He was like, dude, I thought it was a kid watching porn, dude. It
That's
was like,
awesome. Yeah, but let me make a correction. 501st is all the Star Wars characters, but it's only the bad guys.
bad guys.
Got it.
Only bad guys. The only.
So what's up with that?
The
It's
dark
not even-
side.
But here, it's all about perspective, right? So,
Because you're like I'm telling you, you're like the sweetheart here. You know what I mean? So I don't
Is
understand
he,
that.
though?
Is that the A? Is that the little edge in
A
you?
little edge, I guess. But I mean, it's about perspective. So the way I look at Star Wars is the Imperial like army, right? The Empire are the good guys, right? Because they're keeping order, and the rebels are the terrorists. So I actually feel like we're the good guys. So we're just trying to keep order.
There's
That's
a
all.
lot of like
Just doing your job.
Just doing our job.
that Star Wars, that whole Star Wars thing, dude. Everybody sees it for what it is. It's Star Wars, this. But for people like me and him, definitely for him, there's a lot of other like deep meaning into it, dude. That,
Like Star Wars and Disneyland run through my veins.
yeah, same here.
And I don't want to talk about it too much because I'm going to alienate Abel
Chapo?
here. Yeah.
Wow. I love Disneyland. What are you talking about? I seriously.
I love Disney
Actually-
so much, dude. I even
You have
belong
stock.
to Alani and like
This is true.
Yeah. And you also own stock, right?
I
Disney
was
stock.
on a little stock.
Yeah.
This is true. But I did like for the time that we had our passes, or because
You
they're
still
on
have
hold,
it, or?
because but they're on hold
They're
right
on hold,
now.
yeah.
But we were using them quite a bit. We'd go.
But you wouldn't go on rides. You just like
I don't go on rides.
just like hanging out, watching Jimena
I like-
run around and stuff.
Yeah, so Jimena would I get her on a few rides. I'd have her select what she wanted to do that day. Because I didn't want it to be like this like mad race, like this like rat race.
Oh no, enjoy
Where I'm trying to
it.
get to everything.
Rides, yeah.
I'd let her choose one or two things.
Yeah,
and
so
we
you
for
can
sure
come
we're
back.
gonna do that, and she knew that we were gonna do that. And then for Gloria and I, we'd always say, okay, we're gonna eat here or eat
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and then maybe stop here and get this or whatever, like a drink,
Dude, like-
wine or something.
It's like
It's
the big
just so
part-
relaxing.
The big part of Disneyland is like just people watching, relaxing, and the food, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yep.
the rides are there, but it's not the main attraction.
So my kids grew up with it. They always had a pass. My oldest still has a pass. Shane still has a pass. But me and Gabby don't. But our last few ones there, dude, we would go like date night. Just go to California Adventure and
Yeah.
have drinks, dude.
I remember back in the day, you used to post,
Yeah.
just you and Gabby hanging out and
Yeah, we
making a
just
date
go
night.
That's cool.
Have drinks.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, but I got to meet him at a couple different cons. We tried to meet up at Comic-Con a few times, but Comic-Con's so big and so
crazy, hectic,
monotonous and crazy.
Hey, we ran into Pedro too. Remember?
Yeah, and Pedro. That's
Pedro's
right.
a big
Pedro's
time
there.
Comic-Con nerd too.
Yeah.
What Pedro?
Pedro Sanchez out of
Santa Barbara? Santa Barbara Comic-Con?
Yeah.
Shout out to Santa Barbara Comic-Con.
Yeah.
What's up, Pedro?
He's big into that stuff too.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So
I love Pedro, dude. Pedro's
so-
a good.
We just coincidentally all three of us met like in the lobby of the convention.
Convention center.
Oh, that's
right?
nuts.
Yeah. And this guy has different costumes. He acts like he has like 3 Stormtrooper costumes and
Hey, I heard one of them recently sold for like 14,000 or something.
Yeah. It was used in the Mandalorian season 1,
Which
and-
you were on as well.
yeah, I was.
good segue into
Look
that,
at this
dude.
guy. Yeah, I was in it too. Just the season 1.
If you guys don't know what The Mandalorian is, it's this amazing show. Actually, you're probably going to describe it better. Just describe it to them at home if they don't know what it is.
So the Mandalorian is it's basically the timeline after Empire Strikes Back, like after the last of the original trilogy, and so it just follows the Mandalorian. You know, it's created by Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. But anyways, it's a
But The Mandalorian is what? What is he? Like, is he a person? Is he what does he do?
A Mandalorian is a way of life, dude. So the Mandalorian is actually like their own.
Like space age
Their own-
samurai?
They're their own people.
their own creed.
Yeah,
you
their
know,
own creed. That's a good way to put it.
you know they have their own like maybe a religion or a cult.
Faith. Yeah, I
Or
think it's
whatever.
like a faith or cult.
But you have to have the armor. You can never have your helmet off. You know, you say things like, "This is the way." You know,
Yeah.
but the thing is, it's like they're not like. I can't tell if they're 100% good or 100% bad.
So they're neither or, right?
Right.
Yeah,
You
they're
know?
neither or.
But I mean,
Hey, I love an anti-hero.
They are kind of an anti-hero.
the way this Din Djarin character, the main character in Mandalorian, is playing out. It's like, you know, they have, you know, he's got a
Strict code.
he's got a code, but he also has morals. You know, has a very strong moral compass. You know, and you see it play out. Like initially, maybe not. He was just out for bounties. And
Did you see
know,
last week's episode?
Yeah, I did. That was.
I haven't.
crazy.
Please don't.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah.
So this is a true story. So I usually watch it on midnight on Thursday nights with Shane. That's kind of our little tradition from season 1. And last night I broke my tradition because I knew we were having Jacko on here. And the last couple times, dude, like an asshole, I totally like, Jacko, did you see that?
Oh, God, you spoiled it.
But dude, I'm thinking like this dude's
He's
like,
probably on top of it.
Yeah, he's seen it. He's already seen it probably before me. The guy hasn't.
Well, we have a tradition too. So midnight's too late for the kids, so we watch it together on Friday.
Okay.
And also, correction,
cool.
it's actually the timeline is after Last Jedi, not Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
But so, anyways, they called John and Dave Filoni called on the 501st to bring in Stormtroopers for their show.
Cool.
Because they needed a bunch of really nice looking Stormtroopers, and they didn't have it in the Lucasfilm costume catalog. So they're like, hey, you know anybody that has these costumes ready to go? And like Dave Filoni's like, we've done stuff with him for years, in the past.
He's like, are you kidding me? I am a part of the 500 at first, right?
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, I know a bunch of people. I'll make some phone calls, and then it was like within a week, the call goes out, and then we all submit our pictures, and they pick 33 of us, and I was one of them.
That's so cool.
And then we didn't know anything though. They're like, hey,
and this is a major production in Hollywood. I mean, it's a major thing.
It's the first live action Star Wars show too, so they've never done this before. But yeah, when the call came out, they're like, hey, they don't tell you nothing. They're just like, hey, no backstory, nothing. They're just like, are you available with these 3 days? Can you show up?
You're like, yes.
Yeah,
canceling
sure.
all kinds of stuff.
Dude, after that happened, everybody was like, damn it. Right? There's probably a bunch of people that have been doing it for years, like, I'll pass on this one. Yeah. It's a Thursday and Friday. I'm working, dude. I'm a lawyer. I don't need to go. But you imagine you get that, now everybody's like, I'll go, and now it's like a children's birthday party.
Well, not only that, but circling back to what I was saying is like, that thing, the suit sold.
Oh yeah, so one of the costumes sold for $14,000. Like one of the 33 put it on auction, and it sold for $14,000, and everyone's like blown away. Like, the 33 of us or 30 of us are like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. Uh-huh. And then like a couple months pass, and then another one goes on auction, and it sells for $43,000.
43,000.
Jacko's is just waiting for this Mandalorian.
So
he's like, it hasn't peaked yet.
It's priceless, dude.
What's
he's
funny
like this, it hasn't peaked yet, dude.
What's funny is initially you're like, I'm never gonna sell this.
He knows what he's doing, dude.
And then one sold for 14, and I'm like, no. and then the one that sold for 43, I'm like, oh man, we could redo our kitchen with that money.
Right? That's what I'm saying. It's
I started with the file first after 2015 Star Wars.
But it's priceless for you, man.
What's the?
I'm trying to wrap the price up. It's priceless for you. You would never sell it. I mean, the amount of lives that you touch.
It goes, baby.
Listen, the amount of lives that you
price.
touch, and I'm partially messing around right now, but I'm partially serious. Like you went and in that suit you helped kids out, kids in hospitals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of
Let me tell you
priceless
something.
stuff there.
This guy's got like 4 other suits.
So the funny thing is, though, I bought that costume and it just came as a kit, just a bunch of plastic, and you have to like trim it and you got to paint it.
That's what you were talking about like fitting it to your body.
You have to mold it. Like,
you got to fit it to your body.
Yeah.
So that's a part of the being.
I want to be a fat stormtrooper, dude.
Well, you look at Boba Fett in the last episode, right? Or the two episodes ago. The guy has a dad bod. I mean, that guy was like.
You're gonna have to choose a different character, Gary. I'm sorry.
Hey man, you know what? Yeah, I'll probably have to be on the good side as much as I want to be on the bad side. Because what's his name?
The X-wing pilot.
Yeah, there's a fat X-wing pilot.
Yeah.
Dave Filoni and the Asian dude.
Yeah, it's like I guess I can do that.
Yeah, well, they have the Empire has those black flight suits too, and
yeah, no, I want to be in the Empire, dude.
You could be that little what's that? Where
you know what?
Jabba the Hutt has like these
the things he eats.
No, it's like these guys with like they look like warthogs.
The tusks.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I would do something like that.
You
Those
could do
are
that.
cool, dude.
Yeah,
That was in one of the episodes in Mandalorian.
Those things look mean, dude.
Hey, Brett could be Yoda.
He could be Yoda.
Yeah. Do we have all shapes and sizes though, man?
So I got to meet him, but that's not why me and Jacko hit it off, because he loves like pop culture and he loves movies and stuff. So I'm always like throwing shit at him.
80s kid, you know?
Yeah, 80s kid. So, dude, okay, so he's right in line with my thinking. This guy, I'm looking at his timeline one day, and he buys a Toyota truck.
Dude, I was just about to say that.
1985 Toyota truck, and I'm like, that's a cool truck, that's cool. And then I come and see him, and we're training, and I'm like, hey, I like your truck. And I didn't even put two and two together until he said, yeah, that's the same year truck Marty McFly had in Back to the Future. Yeah. And I'm going to paint it black just like that one. That's I was like, dope. Yes, that's amazing. Yeah. That's so cool.
You sold it, right?
I did sell it.
Like you fixed it and then like you sold it.
Yeah, the last thing I had to do was paint it black, but then I was getting quotes for paint and it was like, man, paint costs more than the damn truck. I was like, all right, I'll just start over next time, and get a black truck. It was just ridiculous.
Dude, so
it got out of hand. It's like cars is one of my vices.
Yeah, I know that. Who you sold it to? Did they know what that was?
Maybe, I don't know. Probably. You would think so.
Or is it some like gardener now that's like using it?
Okay, it's good.
That's pretty funny.
And the reason,
hey, you know what? The funny thing is that Gardner is wearing like a maroon like vest.
Oh yeah.
And a Marty McFly hat. And he's out there
I know.
Yeah.
No, the reason why I say that is because I genuinely do know this. So four bangers are like people are really looking for them right now.
Why is that? How come it's so popular? The Toyota. Not even 4-wheel drives. It's the Toyota 2-wheel drive trucks, like from the 80s.
They want those because they're workhorses.
Fix, dude.
Easy to break, easy to fix, but they're workhorses. Yeah. They last forever.
400,000 miles.
And yeah, exactly. And for people that are using it every single day, they want that. I
love it, man. I think Toyota makes
that reliable vehicle.
I'm
a loyal Toyota.
I'm a
fan.
Toyota guy too.
Yeah.
I used to be a diehard Chevy Cadillac guy like this guy. When I bought my first Toyota and it was a Tundra.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I
fell in love with it, dude.
My second car. Actually, my first car. My first car was a Toyota Celica GTS.
Oh damn, dude.
My dad bought it.
Convertible?
My dad bought it. He was the original owner, and then gave it to my brother, and then my brother gave it to me.
Yeah.
And so when I got it from
What
my
year was
brother,
it?
it was 1986.
Oh, so it's really like angular and
Yeah.
kind of boxy.
Yeah, it was fast.
I pictured
No, it was the first year that like they started doing like the curves on it.
Oh, okay.
And the GTS was really rare. There was like GTs, but the
sport
GTS
model.
was like the fast
the
one.
Sport is always
36
modern.
valves.
It had the graphics too, right?
Yeah.
Especially in like the 80s.
It had a moonroof, and that was like the first time you started seeing them like kind of like tilt up and then like open.
Hey, did you have a tint back then? And it was like zag, like a stock market zag. Did you ever see that? You remember back?
Yeah,
in the
I
day?
didn't have that though.
Oh, okay.
Hey, you're turning Jacko on now.
Hey,
I love
the lights. Check this out.
Like Gary's really good at picking up on when my energy's up and what I'm interested in. He's really good at that because we had that little DM chat, right?
Yeah.
And you could totally tell I was like jazzed about talking about whatever I was talking about.
I can. That's one of the things I'm good at is picking up like when people like I'm like
Perk up.
Yeah.
He's
So
good at that.
the Toyota GTS had those lights that go up, like so
Yes,
they would
the flip lights.
Yeah, the flip lights.
I love that,
dude. And so when I got it from my brother, it needed a lot of love, dude, to the point where the first oil change that we did, I thought that I was not doing it correctly because
was it leaking?
no, I took off the little plug, right? I was underneath the car. I took off the plug. Nothing came out.
Oh yeah.
And I was like,
that's the Toyotas.
I was like, what's going on, dude? Like, I'm reading the manual because I'm just trying to like work on my car, whatever, trying to learn. And I'm like, what's going on? And so I put the plug back in. I was like, it's probably the wrong one. I asked my dad. And then my dad goes to check it out. And he's like, oh, man, we're going to have to take this to like a mechanic. Like, we don't know what's going on. Take it to the mechanic.
It's the filter, right?
And take it to the mechanic. Mechanic does the same plug. And I'm like, all right, that's the one I did. And he's like, oh, man. When's the last time your brother changed the oil on this? No oil. And then what was in there was all sludge. So he went in there with like a little tool, like a stick. And he went like that. And it was like... It was like tar. Yeah. He's like, dude, you're lucky your engine's like
still works.
Done. Yeah, it still works. So they flushed it. They redid the whole like.
Oh, wow, dude.
Hey, you should do a Toyota commercial.
And let them know about that. Yeah, and so what I did is that I pretty much took that car. It was pretty beat up after my brother. My dad took care of it. My brother totally ran it to the ground, and then I did everything. Like I made it back to stock. I loved it, dude. I loved it all through high school because I worked. So I made it all stock. It was fast. It was dude. It was dope, man. I loved it. It was like a hatch. Like the back was like it had like the whole glass in the back. Opened up. Yeah.
Dude,
it was dope.
I get an email weekly for my truck asking me
to buy it at the dealership.
At the dealership.
Yeah.
It's people want it.
Yeah.
Hey, well, you almost get full price.
That's how it was for the Suburban.
Yeah.
The Suburban I just sold.
Yeah.
I don't know why. The dealerships were asking me for the
those
Suburban.
are good vehicles too. The Suburbans are really good. There's certain vehicles that are easy to work on.
Yeah.
They can last forever. and
Well, a lot of-
Toyotas and that
lot of
Suburban.
cars
Not
are-
all Chevys though are that way.
Yeah.
Whoever got that Suburban, dude, yeah, I hooked up. I took
Yeah.
care of that thing.
A lot of
Inside
cars are getting
especially.
exported too, though. To Mexico or
Oh,
to
yeah?
They are. There's quite
Why are
a
they
few.
sending Suburbans to Mexico?
I don't know. What do you think?
Chapo, tell
Is
us.
that all you guys think about?
You could hide. Hey,
What if there's a family
I know,
over there?
right?
Hold on a
Gary.
second.
Gary.
What if there's a family over there that needs a Suburban
Gary, I
to
know
drive
why.
around the city?
Because it's suburban, you can hide a lot of aloe vera and agave in
You guys
there.
are ridiculous. See these guys?
And it can pull a trailer.
It's literally a family out there
It has a
that
lot
needs
of, like-
a family vehicle to go camping, and you guys are over here expecting the worst.
You see footage of like terrorists in Somalia or Afghanistan. You know what kind of truck it usually is?
Yeah, dude, you
Yeah,
got
it's a
some
Toyota.
type of Toyota.
It's a Toyota pickup truck, and they
Oh.
put like this freaking 50 cal in the
Somebody
back truck.
welded on like a plate with
Yeah.
a 50 cal on the back.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah.
This is true. If you watch what's that movie?
It's a
Black
1985 black one.
Hey,
That's the
Black
last
Hawk
one I
Down.
saw.
Black Hawk Down.
Yeah, they
all
have
those
them in there.
trucks are those with the 50 cal in the back.
Yeah.
It's like the official terrorist
Vehicle.
brand, yeah.
Because it lasts forever.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Toyotas are the bomb, dude. I've had a Honda. I've had a Chevy. I've had a little bit of everything. I had a Mini. I like cars. I like new cars to be exact. But Toyota, I won't give it up.
Hey, how'd you feel about getting rid of your truck and your camping vehicle? I'm sorry, I don't know the real name of it. Like, what's the actual name?
Sportsmobile, yeah.
Sportsmobile. That's
yeah,
what it's called.
yeah, yeah. But it's based on a Ford.
Did that break your heart?
Yeah, no, not really, because I thought about it for a while. So
You used it like to the full extent.
yeah, yeah. It was my second one, but
Dude, I can't
you
get
know.
over this either. So I was looking him up on Google, right?
You looked him up in Google.
shoot.
I did,
What
dude.
comes up?
He's on IMDb, dude, for The Mandalorian.
You are not.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I
yeah.
hate you now.
He's on a bunch of pop culture sites for The Mandalorian.
That's pretty dope, though. Congratulations.
oh, I didn't know that. Cool.
So once you're on Mandalorian, I think other sites like try to pull.
See, you guys don't have cool
friends.
friends like we do.
Yeah, and so it also came up that you're a certified judge, barbecue judge.
Oh, okay,
right?
cool.
I know the name of your company. I'm not going to say it because I want. I don't know if you want people to know what it is. I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, say it.
Avon.
Yeah, Avon Outdoor, yeah.
Yeah, Avon
advertising.
Outdoor.
Avon?
Said you're,
Avon?
Yeah, Avon.
said you're
It
the
means to be in front.
VP. I was like, well, who's the P?
Yeah.
If you're the VP, who's
Yeah.
the P?
Yeah, the wife is.
Is she really?
No.
Is that a front, dude?
You're a smart man.
I won't give all my secrets, but
Nah, I didn't think
cool.
so.
Right on.
But it's not something that I'm. Yeah. you know.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Birthday 10/27/77. Right.
You got my social security too?
I could have pulled that
My
information.
credit, my
All
credit
that's out
score?
there?
It's all out there, dude.
That's crazy.
So I should have done this sooner. But there's stuff I was like, oh, I can't. That's personal.
Hey, so what does your business do?
Outdoor advertising, so specifically billboards. Yeah.
Outdoor advertising. So it's not like the guys that are like in the corner like flipping signs and stuff?
It's a form of outdoor advertising, but
Well,
that's not what I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's not what you do.
No, I
That's
just
how he
concentrate.
started, but that's not what he does now.
But I did do that though. I did do that.
You liar.
I did. I was spinning the.
You did? Were you
It
good
was
at it?
terrible. It's no, I was horrible.
Hey, there's
man.
some people that are really good at that.
You see those guys dancing,
Dude, no joke.
Yeah.
I've been driving, especially down in LA, and they're like doing spins,
Yeah.
like splits,
So
Those guys are professional.
throwing up in the air. Like, I'm like, how much are those people getting paid?
you know where
like
Rose?
$5 an hour.
You know,
Dude,
yeah, exactly.
Like some of those guys just deserve
You know where
a pay
Rosita
raise.
Park is?
No.
Okay, so I come home from work down New Hope every day. New Hope and Hazard.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually where my dad's house is, right there. There's a big park right there. There's a guy out there, blank, like cardboard box, and he's out there just spinning it.
Blank?
And then on it, he has another one on it, and he says, leave a tip. This is what I do for a living. Nobody hires me anymore because of COVID.
Oh wow.
And so he's just
Good
out
for
there
him.
spinning stuff.
Hey, props.
And dude, traffic's like almost at a stop. I'm like, fuck, I just want to get home, dude. You know how I am. I'm like, I just want to get home. It's already 4 o'clock.
Dude, that guy's hustling, man.
He's hustling, dude. And he's like, then he turns it off and he gets a stick and he starts doing this stuff with a stick. And people are pulling over. And
All good.
he's out there every day for the last
You
6
should get
months.
it. You should give me the intersections, and I'll put it up when I put this thing on.
Hazard and New Hope.
That's dope. Let's go support that guy.
Yeah, for
Dude,
real, man.
that kind of sums up the way I live. Hazard and New Hope.
Hey,
Wow.
all right. So let me ask you a question. So you exit a freeway,
Yeah.
highway, freeway. Well, we call it freeway here in California. So you exit a freeway, and you look to your left, you look to your right. On the left, there's somebody asking for for a handout.
Yeah.
On the right, there's somebody selling maybe flowers,
Oranges. Yeah.
Who do you give your dollar to?
Neither.
I'm kind of like Jacko.
You guys are horrible.
If they got peanuts, then that's a different story.
Who sells peanuts?
They used to.
No, that's like close to the Dodger Stadium. They would sell that.
No.
Hey,
Close to. I'd go to the Coliseum.
What
all the
if
time.
it
Go
was
ahead.
The Coliseum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if it was churros?
Hey, ghetto dogs at the Coliseum.
Dude, I have a video.
Oh my god,
So
dude.
I have a video. I think I saw Jacko. Was it you?
Well, back in the day, it was used to be after the club, like
Yeah.
Century Club or whatever
Dude.
stock exchange. Back in the day,
I never went to
I
the
have
Yeah.
2 hours of video. Right. I went with my dad.
You went to the Century Club? Stock Exchange too?
bro. I used to salsa, man.
This guy is more chopo
You
than
did
you.
it. No, you didn't.
Yeah, we used to, like me and my buddy Jorge in his garage. We used to take salsa lessons. So
You're kidding.
yeah, man.
Damn.
1, 2, 3, 5,
Hey,
6, 7.
That's why his footwork is so good on the mat. Have you seen him sparring, dude? His footwork is
I'm
brilliant.
not gonna lie, dude. Most people who can dance can get down and on the mat. I'm just telling you. Even good boxers can move.
That's awesome. So do you ever listen to like nowadays? Do you ever listen
No,
to
not
some? No.
No.
Oh come on, man! You got to connect yourself back in, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is.
What were you saying? I'm sorry, I cut you off. You were talking about videotaping something for 2 hours or whatever.
Oh, so Dodger Dogs, right? Coliseum. I'm always either at a Rams game or a Laker game. Well, those are the two that. So I'm there with my dad and my brother. I think I saw you there. Were you there? Maybe it wasn't you. I know Dave was there that night.
It's probably an Asian guy.
Another Asian guy.
Maybe
It was
it was
Michael?
Jerry. Yeah, maybe it was Jerry. I get them all.
K, it was K or Noy or
Yeah.
somebody. I don't know.
Could have been.
Or Jerry.
Jerry.
It's probably Jerry because that guy's a baller,
That's what I'm
dude.
saying. Could have been somebody. But dude,
Shout out to Jerry.
so my brother hooks me up. I told you this.
CAO
before.
of Hogue Real
So
Estate.
my brother's worked for some big companies, and he's pretty high up on some of these places, and he always gets tickets, and I get the benefit of going with him, dude. He always takes me, he always shares with me.
That's cool.
So
It's always good to have friends like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So we're at a Rams game. First year that they're here, they're balling, dude. Right? He goes, "I got a surprise for you." He would take me on my birthday. I got a surprise for you. I got a ticket. Let's go. Just come on, let's go. I'm not telling you where. Oh yes, we're going to a Rams game. Not only was it a Rams game, we got full VIP treatment in the pregame at the ESPN zone.
It's so fun.
So we'd go in and drinks were free, food was free, everything was free.
Did you make it out?
Dude, I was so drunk before
See how I knew where this was going?
I was so drunk before, right? So we get in and they give you drink tickets. And those beers are like that big, dude.
Yeah.
So I had 3 of those in there. So on the way out, I decided it's a good idea for me to go live. So you can go on my Instagram and actually see me going up to the ladies like that are making dogs and stuff. I'm like, check this out! It's like, dude, you can find it on my Instagram. So if you're looking for something to do, go on my Instagram.
I don't think it's ever a good idea to be wasted in live stream.
I've done it a few times, dude.
Okay.
He was mad at me. I'm going to tell Jacko this. He was mad at me because I didn't answer like 20 of his calls and like 50 text messages. We were supposed to go live on a
So
Saturday.
we're trying to put a show together here, right? So we're partners, right?
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. Go ahead.
But after 20 texts, so it starts off like with like a regular sentence. By the time it gets to like the 10th and then 20th one, it's like slurring. Like, so I could pick up on what's going on,
It's like a
right?
foreign language.
So I'm like, I'm not going to answer him. I'm like, I'm not going live.
This is pretty funny.
I was like, I'm not going live. If this is how he's going to sound live, I'm not doing it. Like, I want no part in it, right? And it's on a Saturday, so I'm
Good
home.
move. Good move, Abel.
And so he takes it upon himself to say, okay, F it. Abel's not answering. I'm going live anyways. And he tells everybody, Abel's not answering. I'm going live. We were supposed to go live, and he's pissed and drunk. And so instead, he puts his dad on,
Wait, live where? Like on
like
your
IG.
Instagram,
We were
Instagram
IG.
Live.
the Gary and Abel podcast?
Yeah.
Account?
Yeah, no. It
In
was
the
our
boiler
account.
room, yeah.
That was our podcast.
And I'm like, I'm not answering. I don't want anything to do with that. He's a handful already as it is when he's sober, let alone on a Saturday evening. Okay.
This is why we're going to make it, though, dude.
You know what? I agree. And so he puts his dad on, and so now his dad he goes, yeah, Dad. Abel's not answering his phone. He was supposed to be live with me. Now I have you. And then his dad goes, yeah, F Abel. And so we're cracking. It's like I'm laughing now. I laugh now. And then he goes, yeah, you remember Abel? And he goes, yeah, he's that little guy with the blonde hair. He thought it was Brett. He thought Brett was Abel.
Your pops.
Yeah.
This whole since CKM and back in
My dad doesn't remember names to faces.
I don't know why he put his name.
He just saw him like
Yeah.
a week, not even a week ago, like a month or so ago,
something
like that.
He met Brett and myself, and somehow he got the names mixed up.
He just,
So while
like
he's
Brett,
saying
he
F,
looks like
while
Abel.
he's saying F Abel, he's thinking of Brett the whole time.
What's he have against Abel? Brett.
he did, yeah, nothing. He's just off of me.
He's just backing him up.
And he bought me a thing of whiskey, and I never really drinking whiskey, dude. I'm a beer guy, right? So I'm pouring.
I did. I bought it because Shane graduated.
Yeah. So I said, go on live.
I got him some good. It was bourbon.
Yeah.
Oh, it was good.
And he
bourbon.
said, go on live and we'll share a drink.
But I meant Ice Cube, pour some, sip it while we're talking.
I didn't know
Not
you
straight out of the
Chill.
bottle.
No,
Dude,
come on, man.
I did not know you sipped it, dude. I was literally
Dude, he
like,
killed the bottle.
I killed the bottle.
He had like a quarter left. To be
Yeah, I had
fair,
like-
he had like a quarter left.
So what you're saying with your pops is the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree.
Oh, I got everything from him. And when it comes to like the party side, definitely from my parents.
funny.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, dude, I got stories of my dad just like falling out drunk, dude. I had to go pick him up at the Humdinger one time. You remember where the Humdinger was? Off of Harbor and Chapman.
I can neither confirm nor deny. That's
So-
what you should say, Jacko.
It's a bar.
It's a bar. Crappy, cheesy little bar, dude. I had to pick him up. I was 13, 14.
Wait, you were 13 or 14?
And I
You drove to go pick him up?
Go pick him
Dude,
up.
that's nuts.
He was shit faced and called. My mom was like, I ain't picking him up. Leave him there. He can walk home.
So you went to go get him?
And no, he just started like cussing me out like on the phone. You need to come. And I, like I said before, I was a good kid. I was like, my keys, spare keys are in the back room. Get over here now. Kind of too though. When somebody says, "Here, go take the car," you're like,
Hell yeah. At that age? Dude, I remember when I first got my license or permit, I'm like, let me go to the grocery store.
right?
You know what I do? In the driveway, I'd go forward, backward.
Well,
forward,
I taught myself how to drive, dude.
forward, backward.
I taught myself how to drive.
And it was stick shift, so I learned the
Yep,
first
that's
gear
how I-
the whole time.
I told him how 13, 14, 15, right? This girl calls me. And she says, oh, shit. Yeah, anyways, I'll just go with it. And she goes, hey, what are you doing? Come pick me up. And I was like, I don't have a car. Literally, my dad's work truck is in the back, a little Toyota work truck with all this painting equipment and all this equipment on it. Come pick me up. It'll be fun. That's all she said. If you can't pick me up, oh well.
Damn.
I called her bluff, dude. I learned how to fucking drive a stick within like
That
20,
day?
30 minutes, dude.
All the paint's all tipped over and stuff.
I got her there and I got her back home. That's all I know. So I was like,
And so was it worth it?
I can neither confirm or
Nor
deny.
deny. That's a smart man. So, Jacko, in all your business ventures, because you've done some pretty cool stuff. As a matter of fact, there's something that you work on that I drive by almost every day on the freeway, and I look at that all the time. And I literally think about you every single day.
okay.
Yeah, and it just makes me smile because it's like, that's right, it's my boy. He's handling business. You know, what's your motivation?
Motivation is, just for the family. Setting up the girls if they choose to take over the business.
That's sweet.
And just to have,
Jacko has 2 daughters, and
Girl dad. Girl
they're
dad right
Krav girls, and,
yeah,
and
Maddie and Ella.
they know how to defend themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, but it really is. It's type of like a passive income. It's probably passive income, and basically the concept is when you're working, you're trading your time for money. When you go to work, like a doctor, for example, if he doesn't show up to the hospital, he's not going to get paid, right? If you stop showing up, he'll stop getting paid. So passive income is where you set something up and it pays you when you're not there or when you're sleeping. So that's why I love that business. I also love it because it's a high barrier to entry too. So you can't. No one off the street can just jump into it. But there's a lot of downside too. There's there's billion-dollar giants. Goliath, and I'm just poor little David trying to pick up crumbs. But I love it. It's a really good business and
I
something.
take those crumbs.
Hey,
Those
you
are
know
good
that David
crumbs.
took down Goliath, man. He had a happy ending, so it's cool, man.
So true story. The guy who owns the Angels, how he became a billionaire.
Yeah, Artie
right there?
Moreno.
Yeah.
You had a project a little while back, and I remember while you were so busy during that time, and I didn't know what was going on, but I knew that you had something going on.
Yeah.
And it was you and a partner that were working on something.
Yeah.
That you were going to submit something.
Yeah.
And it's funny because while you were
Oh,
hard
that was cool.
while you were hard at work at that,
Yeah.
I was hard at work at something too.
Yeah.
And I remember like in passing, I think I told you something like, "Hey man, like
I remember this
I'm
conversation.
just really proud of you. Like,
Yeah.
like just really proud of you. Keep on hustling, dude. I know
Yeah.
you're up to big things, man."
Yeah.
And it was just a sincere part of me. Like I just saw that you were doing. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
But I knew you were working on something, and it's really cool to know that I got friends around me that are trying to make something happen. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
just trying to figure it out. You know?
That's it. That's what we're all trying to do, right? Every day is just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And as an entrepreneur, and even in corporate America, you got to take these risks, and there's no guarantee.
There's big risks.
And actually, there's a lot of losses.
So one of the things that I've had the pleasure of is actually training with a bunch of people that I had no clue what they did for a living, right? But in my time doing this, I've met some serious dudes in business, dude. Like, even you guys are serious dudes in business. You know what you're doing, you have a vision, and you know where you want to go with it. I'm not that guy. I've never been that guy, Not because by choice, it's just because I was told, hey, you're going to just work for the man and be, retire one day and that's it. But I was telling Abel one time, I was like, I'm inspired, dude. When I hit like 45 and I started meeting all these guys that have all these stories about how they're self-made people, I tell them all the time, that's going to be me.
Yeah.
You know what? From here on out, that's going to be me
Yeah.
right there. So it's really inspiring to hear you guys talk about that
But
stuff. So.
to your point though, to clarify, self-made, it's not really 100% self-made because you have people supporting you, either financially or morally or spiritually or whatever that come along, the way to help you. So it's not, you can't do anything by yourself, just by yourself. It's not possible,
I agree with that.
right?
Yeah. I mean, could you take the credit and say, well, you know what? Ultimately, it was my choice what support I was going to receive or what I was going to reject. And I made the choices and I got here. I mean,
Yeah.
people could say that. And you know what? I respect that
Yeah.
because it still takes an amount of grit to get through all that. But I'm more on your side of the way of thinking. Like, there's so many things that here that happen on a daily that are not possible
Yeah.
without a massive
Yeah.
just town helping out. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
a
like,
group of people
it's like-
just helping and at the very least morally supporting. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like the saying about it takes a village to raise a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true literally too, as well as metaphorically, both. So I couldn't be anywhere near where I'm at without my mom, my dad, my wife, all these people.
Your wife is such a hard worker too.
Yeah,
she's
is.
front lines, right now, like with all this COVID stuff.
Yeah, she's the RN in the ER department. So yeah, she's seeing all this crazy stuff, and she's facing this rampant COVID cases and all this stuff. But
How does she feel about you being an anti-masker?
Hey, so she did. She did some a couple of the women's self-defense seminars.
yeah,
And so I was really surprised. So there's some drills that we do.
yeah,
And I was really surprised how aggressive and like gritty she is.
yeah.
Because you look at her and you're just like, oh, what a sweet like person. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
Chill, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like your demeanor. I guess it fits. Like
It's-
she's super chill, but
It's all that's pent up at home. That's why
dude,
she's taking
when
out.
man, she was going through this drill. I had her do it twice. Actually, I have a video. I got to send you this. Man, this is like a honey badger, dude.
Yeah.
Like just
Well, she's projecting my face on those punching bags.
no, she did an amazing job, and it's really cool that you've inspired that that awareness in your home.
Yeah.
About self-defense and about martial arts, starting something, finishing something. You're just such a great example to all the families here at the studio.
Thank you, man.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to get you on, because you don't have to be this badass. You don't have to be this dude that like walks around like he can't fit through doors and stuff. Like, you could be kind. You could be unassuming.
Yeah.
But you can have that edge. You can have that switch, and you have that. You know,
Thank you.
you're a black belt here. You're an instructor here. Both of those things that I just mentioned are very rare. It's more rare to have them both, black belt and an instructor.
Yeah.
You go through hell and back multiple times to be able to put that as a moniker, as a title, you know, under your name.
It's definitely an accomplishment. And then when I don't really tell people about it, you know, I don't advertise that stuff. Just when I'm in person,
Right.
and it's my buddies, I tell them, and they're like usually shocked.
Yeah.
But it's definitely an
You changed your
accomplishment.
life. You changed your life forever. So even while you were in brown belt, there were certain things that you hadn't done, and the reason why I know that is because I could physically see them.
So, you know, I know he's a black belt, and I think we've all gone through this, is he had the question for me. One time we were kind of talking, and he had the question for me. He's like, does Krav Maga really work? Like, he had that question. Like he started questioning his own capabilities and That's how I know you're ready to be a black belt. We all go through that same thing, because that's the same thing I went through. Like, maybe I should do something else. Maybe I should do this. But the reason why you question that is because you're seeking more knowledge. I think you've put this before. We're all knowledge seekers. We're all like looking like to better ourselves.
Yeah.
So you're wondering if I just peaked, or do I need to go further? You know?
Also to that point is like, you got to believe in it. If you don't believe in it, then what are you here?
Well, and you can't teach it either. If you don't believe in it, you can't teach it.
100%, for
Right?
sure, yeah.
And
I was talking
I
to-
know people that have lost their faith in it.
I was talking to Alex. He's a 3rd degree black belt, you know, and he's like, it was a conversation between him and I, and he just says like, because I wanted him to do a seminar. He goes, "What am I going to teach though? I don't know anything."
You've asked me before too.
Yeah, I was like, "I don't know. What am I going to teach?" And it's funny because being in the position I'm in, I know who has potential. I know what the school needs at the time that they need it. So I was calling on him for something, right? And I know he can provide it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have tapped his shoulder. And I had to remind him who he was.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Alex, listen.
Yeah.
If you don't know anything, what does that make me?
Yeah.
Like, this is the guy that,
Well, you don't really
you know
know
what I
me.
mean? Like, this is like, I had to remind him, and then he's
He's like
"You
the
know
most
what?"
athletic guy here.
He was like, "You know what?
Dude, he's the most like probably well versed guy here. The
He's-
guy has other martial arts under his belt too.
He's probably the most talented, most athletic
Yeah.
And
guy in the building.
finally, so long story short, he's like kind of shaking his head. He's like, "Well, shit, you're right." I was like, "Of course I'm right. I see it. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Yeah.
Like, I've known you for over 10 years, over 12 years." I'm like, "Dude, yes, I am correct. I know I am." You know what I mean? And he kind of had to like be reminded. You know what I mean?
How much a badass he is.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's because he's reached a point where he's seeking more knowledge. He feels like, okay, I know that already. Everybody knows that, but that's not true. Not everybody knows that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, we all and that's what I knew. He's a black belt. He's ready. And I used to tell him all the time, dude, you're gonna be phenomenal because you're gonna learn stuff, and then you're gonna want to bring it back and teach it. You're gonna want to give to other people.
and make our group stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and that you know, wanting to give back or teach, like I may not want to have a regular schedule to be an instructor, but I love when I'm working one-on-one with whoever my partner is, just a mat partner. It's not even like I'm in a teaching mode, but I can pick out stuff, and if I can help out, like make your cross a little better or whatever, I love that. And that's because, you know, working the ranks, everyone else did that for me. You know what I mean?
We had a new guy that came in, and I saw him. It just naturally happened. He paired up with you.
Yeah.
And I told Christina, I was like, that guy's gonna have an amazing class. And then she goes, "What do you mean?" I goes, "He doesn't know he's paired up with an instructor." And sure enough, the first thing he said after class, because we check in with new people,
good, yeah.
like, "Hey, how was class? What did you think?" Blah blah blah, right? And he's like, "Man, like, there's amazing people here. Like my partner was like, really like how, and I was like, oh, that partner you have is a black belt and he's an instructor. He's like, oh, no wonder. I was like, yeah.
I told him I was gonna buy him dinner just to make so you
can sign up.
No, to give good feedback to you.
Oh, okay. Right on. Yeah, man.
But that's what I'm saying is like, you know, when you become a black belt, you make that experience better for everybody else because you are seeking the knowledge.
Yeah.
And you know a little bit of something. I'm not saying you're like this master or anything because that's one thing when you have a black belt. I will tell everybody, you almost become less like when you're like a brown belt and a blue belt, you're probably the most like confident. Like, I want to go find somebody and beat them up.
That's actually true.
And then when you become a black belt,
I know where this is going.
And when you become a black belt, you go, I don't know enough. What else? What else is I need to know?
But that's
more.
because your brain's open.
Yeah, you're
it's
open.
a whole
now.
new universe.
You opened up.
Knowing what you don't know.
Yep.
Versus before not knowing what you don't know.
Exactly.
That's a big
Exactly.
difference.
Yeah. And I was gonna say, so like, when you finally made the decision to gun for your black belt, I saw without you telling me. Actually, you haven't told me till today, but without you telling me, I saw that you made a lot of life changes, like daily changes.
Yeah.
Because I saw it in you physically and mentally.
Yeah.
It was inspiring. I know where you're going with this. Dude.
Yeah,
It's
when
Thank you.
by the time you finished your black belt and you did all your exams and all that stuff, I was like, man, this guy we could see a physical change in you, and we can like just your energy was different, man.
Really?
You were like shining, man.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
It means a lot, especially all the people you see and stuff on a daily.
And here's what's more impressive: from all the people that I see and all the people that I've seen over the last 15 years, you've kept it up.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You look either the same or better from when you peaked at finishing your black belt test.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
I don't know how you do that. I don't know if you want to share that, may help somebody out there, but I'm sure it
goes a
requires some
long
discipline, right?
Yeah, it's just I think I have a little bit of OCD when it comes to like if I find like something I like a hobby, cars, 501st, Back to the Future, whatever. If I once I buy in and I'm a believer, I'm just fully
You're all
in.
in.
I'm all in.
Yeah.
I don't like to dance around, and I like to. I don't finish everything I start, but I definitely try. Like every day I try, so that. It was actually I had a exam for a health screening for my wife's insurance, and then they take the blood work and they measure you and weigh you and all that. And at that time, right before black belt testing, they're like the doctor's basically like you're fat, you're just out of shape and all this stuff like that. And I actually took the first pre-test or whatever, and I did so bad. I did terrible.
Well, it wasn't only you. That first pretest, I actually remember it vividly.
Yeah.
That first pretest was a wake-up call for everybody
It was.
that was testing that during your cycle.
I was like, I was disappointing myself, and I was disappointing everyone that supported me.
Up to that point.
Up to that point, and I was like, that's not going to happen again. And so I was like, well, I got to cut this weight for health reasons, for wife's insurance, and then for me, and I was like looking at ways to cut weight and stuff like that. But I also knew that diets are temporary, and lifestyle changes can be more permanent. So I was like, well, we can't count calories. That's ridiculous. So I was like, all right, looked into the keto and stuff like that. And I was like, well, I just don't eat sugar in my diet. So I just cut out sugar, complex, simple sugars. Just basically fruit was the only kind of sugar I was getting. And then from then on, I was like 205 at the time when I started. And then at the end of black belt, I was like 175 or something like that.
His black belt, dude. I even told him, hey, what are you doing? Because I was like, I need to start doing that too, whatever. And doctors are full of shit. Most of them. Dude, because the only one I trust is my oncologist because he understands my fight that I have. But he's right. The lean proteins, this plant-based, like I've told you, I've been trying to get to a little bit. But I had that same issue when I was becoming a black belt. I was like, I need to look the part.
Yeah.
Dude, I dropped 100 pounds plus, dude. I was 215.
That's a lot, dude.
That's huge.
I was 215 when I went through my black belt. But then so what I'm trying to say is you young guys take care of yourself then because as soon as they ripped out my thyroid, dude, I can eat as clean as you
Yeah.
and I won't lose any weight, dude.
Yeah.
And it just fights, and it just takes me worse. It's so bad.
That's gotta be frustrating.
It's frustrating because then it's like, oh, I'm doing everything right, and then you go, screw it, dude. I'm gonna go back to eating crap.
Yeah, because you're not seeing the results.
Yeah, and then you go back to eating crap, and you double your weight, dude.
Yeah.
So I get it. When you hear that health issue, and I'm bringing it up because this is something I always profess, especially to young guys who are in their 40s. I hit 42, and it was a wall. Like, oh, shit, this happened. Oh, man. Eventually that happens, 40s, 50s, whatever it may be. But it's when you recognize it, you have to change it. You have to physically try to do it, mentally try to do it, because when you then have to do it, it's not work. It's just a change.
So it was, I started seeing, I weigh myself every week, and then you can see yourself shaving pounds, and then the clothes just felt baggier, and I was like, like mentally, I was like, I'm getting rid of this clothes. I'm never gonna come back. I'm never gonna go back to a 36 or 37 waist or whatever. So I got rid of all my clothes, bought new clothes. I'm like, this is it.
So you're like betting on yourself.
Yeah, and exactly. I hold myself accountable. And I was like, I'm a cheap ass too. So like, it's like, I'm just going to get rid of this stuff, buy new stuff. And I don't want to buy, big clothes again. So that was part of it too, right?
Cool.
Hey, what's really nice too? Touch his arm.
His skin's so soft. It's so soft.
So we used to do a lot of rope.
Is that an Asian thing? I don't want to be racist, but
damn, he's racist, dude.
Probably.
Hey,
I mean, it's impossible.
You take care of your skin.
It's impossible for me to grow hair. On my.
I thought I had no hair. You have no hair.
Jacko does a really good. He knows grappling. He's picked up on really well. Right. So we used to go to roll club, and he'd be beating my butt, dude. And I know how to take care of myself. So as soon as he started beating my butt, like, oh man, he's whooping up on me, dude. I just act just super like, Jacko, let me touch your skin.
You want to touch
I'd be like, I get out of it. I'd be like, oh man, you're so soft, man.
That's funny. So we've taken a lot of your time already. I want to just bring one last thing up. So a little while back, right? All this COVID stuff, like our world was flipped upside down, and a lot of us, for the types of businesses, especially being entrepreneurs, we didn't know where everything was going to land, right? So it's like this bomb landed, and everything's up in the air. We don't know where everything's going to land. And I received a phone call from you. It was actually first thing in the morning, and I always answer your phone calls.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's certain people that I know, if they're calling me, it's like you need to answer. It's something.
He doesn't answer mine.
That's actually a lie. But it was like first thing in the morning, and I knew it was something important. And then you were going through some stuff during that time.
Mm-hmm.
You were buying a new house. You were making some major changes in your life that were such a positive thing for you and your family, and I couldn't be happier and prouder. In the phone call, you said, "You know what, Abel? Man, I just been dreading this. Like, I've really been thinking about this. I've been working the numbers and stuff. I just, I'm gonna have to take a break from training." And the first thought that went through my mind was, "Man, dude, I'm really gonna miss this guy. Like, but what do I do? Like, I understand. I'm also a father. I'm also, head of a household. Like, I get it. What do I tell this guy? There's nothing but love for you."
I just bought a new Cadillac. What are you doing?
And I was just like, I was thinking about it, and I was just like, I think what I said was, "Hey, dude, no worries, man. I get it. Like, we're all going through some uncertain times. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really happy that you're making these moves, even through this crazy time, and I get it, so don't worry about it." Our conversation actually went on for like an hour and a half. We had a beautiful conversation.
You know what Abel told me?
Huh? Jacko's a cheap ass.
Yeah, he's a cheap ass dude. He could sell that suit, make $50,000 right now.
So
that's words right out of his mouth.
And I could keep the school open,
exactly.
For the
I
whole.
can feed my daughter.
Yeah, I know.
It was kind of like my.
You do remember the conversation?
I do.
Yeah, it was a while back.
It was a while. It was kind of
9 months back.
Yeah, it was towards the beginning of COVID, but it's kind of like how I made my change of how I eat, right? And so at the time we're getting ready to buy a place.
Abel was sugar.
Yeah, Abel was basically sugar.
Sugar. Yeah.
He was a complex carb. He was a potato.
Potato and rice.
Yeah. So as my eating was getting lean and disciplined, and so was my finances. So I wanted to cut all the way. So I sold a bunch of stuff, a bunch of toys,
Cool stuff.
really cool stuff.
Yeah.
You know, the Toyota pickup truck, you know, the Sportsmobile, you know, just getting really lean, like no debt. Like I kind of discovered Dave Ramsey at the time too. And so it was like, all right, no debt, zero debt, just so we can buy a house and get into a bigger debt. But that was kind of the mode I was going to. And then, you know.
Hey, but you got to choose your debt.
Yeah.
Right? That's your choice. Like that's,
the mortgages.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the only debt, like I think it's
worth.
Who's going to buy a freaking house cash? That's like impossible, right? Maybe the second house.
That's a Vietnamese thing.
For the most part. Well, that's communist money.
God damn it, Gary.
Yeah. But
He's
so
smiling because he knows I'm right.
yeah. So basically it was like, all right, well, I had everything out, listed all my monthly expenses, and there was nothing left. And then you know, it was
That's a
Crop
chopping
House
block.
Studio.
That's a chopping block.
It was like that was the besides
Hey, he didn't care. He didn't care that like everything, my roof, everything was on the line. He didn't care.
He called you up. He's like, hey, Spud. I mean, hey.
hey French fry.
Yeah.
And so it was like, you know, at the time we were renting and we're trying to buy a house and buy the kids' school and stuff. And I'm like, we got to get lean. And like it was like rent and then Krav.
But to be fair, you were renting a quarter mile away from the beach. I mean, don't try to make it seem like you're this poor Jack.
Oh, now he's getting a little chippy.
A quarter mile away from the beach.
Man.
You know what I mean?
I call you potato too.
Hey, 1 minute away from the studio,
Yeah,
quarter
it
mile
was
away
nice.
from the beach. You know?
I mean, we were paying the same rent as people in Garden Grove, so
Okay.
but yeah, so you know, I had to make that phone call and
Hey, would you go right now? You're paying rent. Would you go buy a house in Garden Grove?
if I what? If I
Right now, would you say like, oh, I want to move my family to Garden Grove?
No, there's no reason to go to Garden Grove right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No reason to go to Garden Grove.
Oh, I see where you're going.
Hey, I'll buy a house even if it's in LA.
Yeah.
184th Street, 56th Street.
Right.
I was trying to tell him,
37th
dude,
and Maple.
Anyways,
You can get a lot of.
Hey, I'll buy a
You
home
can get a
there.
lot of land though. There's big lots.
so
of Garden
I
Grove.
do agree with that.
As long as the numbers make sense, I don't care where it's at.
That's true. That's true.
I'm not going to live in it.
No,
long as it
he's
makes sense.
planning to live in it.
So you were saying?
Nah. What was I saying? I don't remember.
You were talking about.
Oh yeah. So that was a tough call.
Yeah.
And-
right before
and-
you were about to say that you're going to make the call.
But it's funny because Abel will kind of always
No,
like
that must have-
passively bring it up in conversations, knowing that I'm around here. He'd be like, "Yeah, you know, 10th Planet. You know, we kept playing our membership even though, we couldn't train." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's a little jab."
Hey, you know
right
what he likes to, so you know what he likes to do? He likes to trap people around me. I'm like his enforcer, dude. He calls AJ his enforcer. Because I did this with Will just a couple.
What did you do with Will?
I'll tell
Will,
you.
I love you, man. What's going on?
But he'll do that around people, and you call me a bully. I have no problems being a bully. If he said that around me, I'd be like, Jacko, you fucking leaving us? What the fuck, man? What's going on
but
here,
listen,
Jacko?
Gary
listen.
does
It must have listen because we have I feel. I hope I'm not misreading this, but I feel like we have a close relationship. I feel like you're my friend.
Hey,
that
Will,
must have
you
been
better pay up, too.
that must have been a hard like dial. I don't know.
Yeah, it was. I thought about it for a long time.
Because I know you
Yeah.
care about us.
Yeah.
Like I know you care about me personally.
Of course I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you pick up the phone,
Yeah.
dial me up.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, I gotta get this shit over with.
I'm like, well, I didn't tell you I was gonna happen, but I wasn't getting paid. My
Yeah, you had some big clients that weren't.
my clients were
Coming through.
but
Just yet.
no fault to them. It's the COVID.
No.
It's the pandemic, and everyone's hurting. And so I was like, it might happen, it might not. I just want to let you know, just let you so that way you could be prepared for.
You did give me a deadline.
Did I?
Yeah,
Okay.
you did.
Oh, okay.
I'm just listening.
Yeah. I can see he's hurt.
He was
No,
he told me about it, dude.
Yeah. He's like,
like,
this is fucking.
Jacko called me. I was like, oh, yeah, with Jacko.
it broke my heart. It broke my heart, but it broke my heart for different reasons than you might think, because you're a bully. It broke my
I
heart
told
because
him,
I'm like,
I said, fuck him, let him go.
he did. It broke my heart.
Well, Gary's like, I see how Jacko lives. How come he can't?
No,
If I said that-
that would be his reaction. Absolutely. You know what?
I
Yes,
pinned it, huh?
absolutely.
Yeah, I knew.
Absolutely.
I know.
No, it broke my heart. And there's so many. So like this weird position that I'm in. It's like
Jacko's my friend. That's what I can say.
there's just like these moments of triumph every single day, and then there's these moments of like heartbreak, and it's not as simple as what people think. Like, oh, like like he's heartbroken because this person's not like canceled their membership or something. For me, it was like if he's canceling his membership for all these reasons, for the right reasons, like, dude, am I not gonna be able to like see him anymore? Like, is he just gonna like fade off? Like that to me is important. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And luckily enough, after we had that conversation, I wanted to make sure that before we hung up, that you knew that there was like it was cool. I want you to be happy with what you're doing because I'm happy for you.
Yeah, you made it clear that you were okay with it.
Yeah, I wanted you to be
Hey,
free.
You hung up.
And he called you.
No. No. He talked to Christina and said, "Hey, I need you to leave right now, and
I can't afford
I can't afford you anymore.
Take a couple days
Yeah.
off."
Yeah.
No, I wanted to make sure that
Sorry, Wesley.
that as a father and then as a friend, that I wanted you to do well, and then like if you had to do that, I knew that that you had to make that choice. Like it wasn't like, oh, I just want to do this because I want to save some extra money. It was like you have to do that in order to get where you wanted to get, and I just respect that a lot, man. I respect it a lot. It was a tough conversation for you to have with me.
Yeah.
And it broke my heart, but it broke my heart for the right reasons, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
But then something happened. A few days later.
Yeah.
And because it was on my mind. A few days later, you gave me a call.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, man, I need to talk to you.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn it. Did I bill him and like I didn't cancel it or what happened, you know? But then you're like, hey, listen, I looked into stuff and we're going to do our best to stick around for a little while.
Yeah, well, the client actually, one of my clients actually paid. So for a while, like, didn't get paid, was ghosted, and then, things the economy got to open up again, and then the checks started to come back again. But now we're back to, so you might get another phone call.
Hey,
now I will send you, Gary. Now I will send you. You break some D's, all right?
Hey, at this point though, he's already like blown it. I'm gonna be like, just let Jacko go, poor Jacko, man.
No, and you know what? To be honest, like, because there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes. Like nobody knows that we have conversations like this with people.
That's a
and
great
stuff like
story,
that.
man. I call it a French kiss moment. I think you guys should French kiss right now and just kind of make up. No way had this moment last week. Now we're having this moment with Jacko.
Now we know what kind of fantasy Gary has.
Gary's weird, dude. He's all over the place.
Jacko has such great arms that, come on.
I don't know what's going on right now.
We've been doing this a long time. I think it's time for us to kind of wrap it up.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to both of you.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy holidays to all of you.
Merry Christmas, Prof family.
I'm really excited that we had Jacko here today because he is a friend of ours, and I've been looking, and we literally just kept talking. We could probably go another full day.
Yeah, I mean, I have a great time talking to this guy. It's easy to talk to him.
He's really easy to talk to. Great conversationalist. One of the big things is Christmas is coming up. COVID is around. Stay healthy. Make sure that you're keeping your bubble. I get this all the time with my wife. And I do have a bubble. I only stay around a core 5 or 6 people. Stay healthy. Make sure that you're watching movies because I'm going to be texting Jacko about The Mandalorian and this guy about podcasts and but any movies you want to see come Christmas Day.
Any movies coming out soon?
Think about it.
Yeah.
You?
I always watch Die Hard.
Oh.
Yeah, the Bruce
That's an
Willis
old
movies.
movie. You can watch that anytime.
How about you? Put that question on you.
Wonder Woman coming out Christmas Day. We're going to buy that. I want to check out Tenet. I haven't seen it yet, but I keep hearing great things about it.
Chris Nolan.
Yeah. Christopher Nolan is unbelievable.
Big fan.
Right? I'm talking about this because Jacko's here, not because you don't even know what you're talking about. He wants to see Die Hard. He wants to see Die Hard. We can all watch Die Hard.
I love that, man. Yippee-ki-yay, mother...
I'm just playing. I also want to see what's his name?
Come on, how's that not part of your Christmas viewing? Die Hard.
It is, but I usually watch it in the 12 Days of Christmas, so I'll watch like Elf
There you go.
and this.
Don't try to sign me off. You do it too.
I'm saying Christmas Day. So did
Christmas
you know,
Story is another one. Come on,
what-
you guys at home? Christmas Story. Come on, that's a classic.
For both of you guys, did you know that Christmas Day there's a Mandalorian special coming out?
I didn't know that.
Christmas special.
How did you
Really?
know
Watch
that?
for that.
How does he know that?
I don't know.
Because I'm a dig deeper, dude. I dig deeper on every little thing I do.
Because he's a Disneyland stockholder.
Hey, so just a last thought before we leave. Jacko, don't sell your suit, your Mandalorian suit, not your Mandalorian suit,
Until
your
Stormtrooper.
Your Stormtrooper suit.
Until
We'll decide in the right time. Okay, we're gonna make
we'll
sure
have
that
that conversation.
we're gonna make sure that
One of the coolest things he did.
I want you to do well with that
Hey,
one.
one of the coolest
talk
things
with
he did is he taught a class with his Stormtrooper
I
microphone.
heard about that.
dude.
That's pretty awesome.
It was actually really clear and everybody could hear it, and I was really amazed because the echo and it worked out great. But
All right, we love you guys. Where do we find
Fanboy.
you, Jacko?
At the studio.
At the studio.
at the studio.
You want to put your company stuff out there?
Avon Outdoor Advertising.
Nice.
There you go. All right, support my boy.
Gary H72 at Instagram and also Facebook. Gary and Abel podcast. You can catch us on platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
Simpleman0707 on Instagram. Hey guys, just a heads up, we're gonna be putting all our stuff that we've done up to now, just on audio, different platforms and stuff like
One
that.
platform. Yeah,
Yep.
we're gonna grow.
So give us some time with that, maybe a few weeks, and we'll have an update announcement on where we're at. All right, with all that stuff. I mean, we're gonna continue doing this, but we're gonna add different platforms so that you guys can enjoy our beautiful voices wherever you're at.
Thank you.
Love you, man. Merry
All right,
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Enjoy
Love you guys.
yourself. Be safe.
Happy holidays.